right now, live. Thumbs up if you heard.
Talking about you with me, I could die just thinking about you and you're not with me. All this time, you fill my head and all my daydreams of you. In the night, we sleep talking about you with me. I could die just thinking about you and you're not with me. All this time, you fill my head and all my daydreams of you.
My ears, it's going out to everybody. Destroy my ears, it's going out to everybody.
Good evening, Saints Nation, and welcome back to NACE VALORANT Super Conference Week 2. We got St. Clair going up against Cumberland here in our second day in a row of facing off against Cumberland University. For those who don't know, last night it was Rocket League's turn, and well, that went an unexpected direction as Cumberland were able to get the dub there. But now, St. Clair, it's time for your revenge. What do you have in the pocket today? I'm Patrick Smoke Chambers, joined by Evan. Evan, how you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good. Like you said, this is a really, really exciting matchup early in the Super Conference season, and I think you've already said the word of the day so far, that word being revenge. The big story of the game today, St. Clair's newest acquisition, JP, facing off against his former roster for the very first time tonight. Could be a really, really exciting matchup. A lot of emotions going into this one as well. I mean, we can kind of tee it up a little bit. We're going to talk to JP before the game starts today, so we'll get some insight from him as well. But just on paper, Smoke, this is a huge, huge matchup for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I mean, St. Clair are 1-0 coming into week 2, right? Obviously, we were commentating the Ball State win as St. Clair were looking really good on their maps of Lotus Haven and Sunset. And Cumberland, they're 0-1, but they forced Winthrop to a Game 3. So that definitely shows that this roster can still deliver on the highest stage. And speaking of that, we got Atlas, Enzo, Snarly, Zeka, and Semic as well. So really good job there for those boys. I get it, right? It might not be on paper the record that you want to have after week 1, but given the level of opponent that you're facing off against Winthrop, right? They got stomped on map 1, right? They come back, stomp Winthrop on map 2, and then they narrowly lose map 3 in 13-10 fashion. So these guys definitely have what it takes to beat the best of the best on the grand stage. And for St. Clair, right, they have something to be nervous about because the pressure is on them. The pressure is on JP to deliver. And now looking at this St. Clair roster as well, we can see who's going to be playing tonight. As the lineup comes on through, it's going to be Tillo, Instinct, Seth, Taiga, and JP. Same lineup that we saw last week for Ball State. And these guys have been cooking in week 1. They did really well in Division 1 as well against West Virginia. Taiga really stepping up as that sub player who's now filling into this role of picking into the Omen usually and running the controller space with Seth as well, the coach, flexing on that Sentinel controller based on the maps that they play, right? So again, really key pieces stepping up here for St. Clair as Instinct and JP kind of just run up numbers on kills again, like a number line, honestly.
No, it's true. And I mean, like you said, JP is kind of the one who's going to be the X factor tonight. He's really going to be the one to, bring the team in together. I mean, like I said, we're going to be able to talk to JP very, very shortly. Going to be really exciting to hear what he has to say. And there he is, JP. Welcome to the show, sir. I mean, you got to be feeling a lot of emotions tonight, man. Just kind of walk me through what's going through your mind right now.
Hey, so yeah, I'm really excited to play this match because I feel like it's really important to start strong as a team. Talking about like more of us like on St. Clair, we won the match on the first week, so we want to keep getting those wins and keep getting this momentum. And yeah, about like facing Cumberland, I'm very excited to be honest. I feel like it's gonna be a really fun match to play, and I really wanna show them that they lost a lot by not having me anymore. So I need to make sure to teach them a lesson.
Ooh, that's a good way to say it. I'm getting like goosebumps just thinking about that. I mean, really, but you were talking about momentum. What is it going to take to get the momentum tonight? Obviously, Cumberland had a solid week last week, not able to beat, it was Maryville, correct, I believe.
Cumberland were not able to beat Winthrop.
Winthrop, yeah.
Yeah.
We're all confused on the show right now. I mean, they weren't able to defeat Winthrop, but they still had a really good showing. They have a talented roster despite the overhaul. What is it going to take for you guys to be the better team tonight?
I feel like we don't need to think more like about them. We only gotta like focus on ourselves because we have a lot of talented players. Everyone on my team is really good. Everyone knows what they are doing. So I'm really not too worried about them. I don't know much about their team. I've never played and I don't know any of those players. So I'm really confident. I trust my team and I know it's gonna be a fun match to play.
Yeah, talking about trusting your team, right? We have two big roles I mentioned stepping up, right? Taiga, the sub player who's now playing that Omen for you guys, flexing on that controller, and then Seth, the coach, right? the coach is usually someone who can kind of get a team calm or get them going. How, how good is it that your coach in-game can basically just have tactical timeouts every time you guys enter a buy round, right? Like, he's probably, if he's not calling shots, how big of an effect is it to have a sub and a coach in that lineup stepping up, making the big plays when the lights aren't strongest?
Yeah, it's definitely like really good for us to have Seth on the roster right now because we have two great minds on the team. Silo is always with the first call, and Seth is always like helping him. So I'd say we are getting together pretty well because we have only players that like actually know what they're doing. And Taiga also, he's a very talented player. He's very young. He's like, and we have 4 players on our team that already have been like playing competitively for a while. So we are trying to help him. But yeah, he's an amazing guy. He's performing like really well, and he's learning more at each game that we play. So yeah, I think we're building something great here.
Absolutely, and I have just another thing for you, right? St. Clair in the past has looked sometimes very aggressive in general, usually in their attacking takes, and sometimes that can backfire. But last week in NACE, we saw you guys kind of slow down the pace, let your entry picks come to you, and not necessarily force space, but just take it when it's there, right? Having that discipline now in your roster and in these games, have games been a lot more less intense to you guys in terms of just the pacing, being able to just slow down and think about your takes? How has that worked for you guys on attack? Because you guys have looked absolutely spectacular so far.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm used to playing on very like aggressive teams and very fast-paced teams, and right now is one of the first times that this is not happening, and I'm enjoying it a lot. I feel like when we are taking our time and taking our time to take the right decisions, it's more likely that we're gonna make the right choice. So yeah, as you said, we are looking really good on attack. And I feel like because of the new meta on Valorant, a lot of maps have Viper, Vice is like being played a lot. It's hard to do the fast-paced tactics because they have so much util to stop us. So it's really important for us to work the map and understand and like try to make them waste things before actually committing to do something.
Absolutely. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys cook up here tonight. Good luck, JP. Hopefully you guys get the job done against Cumberland and settle the score that we weren't able to do on Rocket League last night.
Yeah.
All right, later, man.
Appreciate it.
Well, it's always nice to talk with JP there as, again, a player who we've come to know on the broadcast team very well as of recently. But now, let's talk about actual keys to the matchup and potentially some maps as well that we could be looking at. So, on St. Clair, right, hot off a Division 1 win, they're looking to go 2-0 in NACE, right? These guys are a high momentum team, and I think the number one thing that I immediately have to talk about, whether I know I want to talk about JP a whole lot, but you got to talk about Instinct, right? This man was on 298 ACS on Sunset last week and then followed it up with 331 as well on Lotus. He's been crazy on the Yoru as well on Sunset, going through these mid lurks. And I think the number one thing that I'm noticing from Isaac that I really love is just, again, I mentioned it in this interview real quickly, just the patience, right? Sometimes we'd see St. Clair of old force plays through their duelists. It seems like Instinct's a little more patient on this lurk, and it's been paying off for them tremendously.
No, it really does start with Instinct. I mean, like you said, he was the one to sort of make the first play. Like, he's that initial initiator, right? He's that initial duelist, right? He's setting up all of these fights. He's taking these ones early. It's going to really be up to him to set the pace and set the tone for the round that they're in. Now, we're going to see where the Saints end up starting, whether they start on attack or defense. You know, that also is going to play a factor into how fast or how slow they're going to start in this first map. And if Cumberland is smart, which I'm sure they've done their homework and found out the maps that St. Clair likes and how they like to play them, they should have a game plan for these maps. And here we go with the map bans. Lotus, the first pick. I think this was something we had expected to see. This is a map that the Saints love to play on. Cumberland going to be starting on attack there. Ascent for map 2 as Cumberland's pick, with St. Clair starting on defense. Haven, the decider. Smoke, what do you have to say about these map picks? Anything surprising or standing out to you?
Yeah, well, to me, immediately, St. Clair banning Bind, seeing as how they were uncomfortable enough against Ball State to ban Bind, really just shows that that is probably their weakest map. Sunset ban coming through for Cumberland is really nice because St. Clair, this is probably their map that's a little off the beaten path, right? Everyone knows how to play Lotus and Haven at a certain point in time, and yes, while they are St. Clair's strong maps as well, which is surprising that they left it to the decider, I will say that Sunset is easily the one that I feel like I could see Cumberland struggling against us the most on, right? So going on to Lotus, right, with St. Clair, or on defense first and Cumberland on attack, that will at least be good because Cumberland will now have the privilege of attacking on a free site map first, right? If they can build momentum on that and then immediately go down to Ascent of their map pick, that'll be good. Ascent, everybody knows what they're doing on there, but I think what I'm surprised most is the fact that they didn't pick Abyss when they had that pick, right? And I get it, it's a new roster. Maybe they just want to go and lie down on Ascent, right? Because everybody knows how to play it. But on Abyss, they used to have a 78% win percentage on Abyss, right, as of recently in the past 90 days. So the thing with them is, again, St. Clair, this is a map that they banned last week as well. So they're weak on Abyss, whereas Cumberland are very strong on it, and maybe because of this roster overhaul still needs some time to gel and maybe get those tactics down with the new roster, maybe that's why they opted to go Ascent, just because it's a little more calm and everyone already knows how to play it.
No, it's possible. I mean, and the other thing, too, is that Cumberland might have a plan as well, but we're going to wait just a little bit longer to find out what that plan might be. We're going to send it to a quick break. When we come back, it's going to be map 1 on Lotus. Don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss this one.
Say my name, I'll come right back to you. I get so lost when I'm loving you. There's people waiting up on me now, but you're the only one I need. Oh, I'd run away with you if I could, yeah. No one understands me the way that you do, the way that you do. Fumes are running so high, I don't wanna be alive.
Well, welcome back, everyone. After a little short break, it seems like we are ready to get on into Agent Select in a brief moment. But again, right, St. Clair, they have a lot to prove. On Lotus, especially first, you're going to be looking a lot for Isaac on the potentially the Clove, who could be working up through mid. If he doesn't want to go that route, he can just stick on the Duelist, right? We know that he can make things cook on Yoru. And then also the number one thing that I'm going to be looking out for, right? JP usually on the Chamber here for Lotus as well. So watch out for him getting off to a quick start because of that Headhunter.
No, exactly. And not just because of that, you know, all the sort of emotional stakes that we've sort of teed up you really think that JP, like he says that he wants to prove something tonight, and Chamber gives him that opportunity to prove something. JP loves to use the op, like he's the main opper for the Saints roster as well. Look for him to be that guy to take those picks. You don't want to see him being super aggressive, but I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to ego challenge just a little bit, just to prove himself a little bit. I'm really hoping he gets a hot start tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, he is capable of doing that, right? I mean, again, 290 ACS on his last week's showing of Sunset. And then following that up, I believe he had 249. So still decent underlying numbers considering the fact that he is on a Sentinel. But the thing that I really like about St. Clair is sometimes they will run a double Sentinel lineup on the maps that lets JP then flex onto that Chamber, who can kind of act as a second man for Instinct to bounce picks off of, right? Last time we saw St. Clair on attack as well. A lot of the times you'll see JP as the Chamber holding down that B link, right? So immediately you have all of St. Clair, whether they want to go to A or C, you will have JP in the center just making sure that they don't let anyone just force up mid and go for the flank. So it's really well done and well timed by JP. We've seen him hold the angle for so long, and I'm telling you, we're going to see it again. Hopefully it works out for him early rounds. But St. Clair, speaking of which, pistol rounds is something that is going to be a big statement, right? They've used, in the past, St. Clair have used to have a little bit of a weak pistol round mentality. And it's because in the pistol round, you got to be a little bit patient, right? They've lacked that composure before. And again, this is with that same core, right? You can have Instinct, Seth, Tillo maybe getting a little bit too over aggressive, maybe overextended on the pistol rounds. But it's nice to see players like JP and Taiga coming in. And it seems like the whole team as a collective have slowed down a little more. And because of that, we even saw last week against Ball State, I don't believe they actually gave up a single one. And on top of that, I don't believe they gave up a single second round conversion as well. So I'll have to recheck that. But if that is true, again, I do think at minimum they've taken most. So the whole point is they've definitely exuded much more composure. And I really think that that's been the big reason of why they get to these hot starts.
No, for sure. And, you mentioned the pistol rounds. Like, that really is where it starts. Obviously, I mean, that is where the game starts, just to make it easy like that. But it really does, just for momentum as well, gives you a chance to find some early legs as well, build up your econ early to get some advantages, try and put Cumberland sort of off their game early, get some rifles online early, just to give yourself a little bit of a cushion, because you know that Cumberland is going to be a really, really tough opponent, especially down the stretch. You mentioned their game last week against mentioned the game last week against Winthrop. I did it again. But like we said, they got dog walked on that first map. Then they were able to sort of come back and reestablish their dominance. So if St. Clair is able to get a good one early, a good start to maybe put Cumberland off their game, hopefully they can take advantage of that and bring it into the second map, because they're really going to need it, especially that being Cumberland's map pick. Well,
I was going to say, I think to me, if I had to drop a prediction, this one's going to go all three, because even when Cumberland gets slammed on map 1, like last week, especially against an opponent like Winthrop, when you really do get slammed like that against a tough opponent, sometimes your mental's going down, right? These guys, they have something that St. Clair in the past have lacked, and I can immediately tell they have very strong mental fortitude, the ability to be able to drop back in and immediately reset, get your 13-3 win, and then just narrowly force a potential close to overtime on the decider. I mean, it really does show that no matter what, even if St. Clair do take Lotus in demanding fashion, I am not convinced until I see that victory banner with St. Clair on top, because Cumberland can always make a comeback.
No, for sure. And that, again, is another big point, is that you can't get too overconfident. Like you said, even with a big lead, you have to play through every single round to completion. You cannot get complacent against a good opponent like Cumberland. And again, this is something you're going to have to work on for later in the year as well, because the schedule just does not get easier from here. There's so many tough opponents in the Super Conference. This is a really good litmus test for the Saints to see how they'll stack up against other elite talent in the Super Conference. And, sometimes, some people might think that the Saints are a little weaker this year. We've heard some of these narratives before. So really good chance for St. Clair to prove themselves against an elite team tonight. And I don't think we're that much farther from game. I believe we're going to be getting into game very, very soon is what we were told. So you did say your prediction of going to map 3. I believe it is.
Do think so.
I agree with you. I think it also is going to go to a third map. I do have St. Clair coming on top, but it's going to be a dogfight the whole way, I think.
So here's what I'm going to say, right? Again, Ascent is a map that's a little more 50-50. So yes, this technically does favor St. Clair, as Lotus and Haven are two maps that they are very strong on. But that being said, right, you can't really say anything before it happens, right? Cumberland left Haven on the board for the decider. They could have forced St. Clair to go to Corrode, a map that they've literally never played, at least on stream before. So again, whether Cumberland know that St. Clair's either hiding something on Corrode, or whether they themselves are just so uncomfortable that they're actually willing to give St. Clair a better map for them, even though it may just mean that Cumberland have more experience on Haven. The fact that they're willing to give St. Clair that map for the decider makes me think that regardless, I do think St. Clair come out on top of this 2-1, but at the same time, right, it is Ascent, so I have on map 2, so I do have this map ban. In my opinion, St. Clair has completely won it out, right? You got rid of the Abyss pick that we thought was going to happen. You got rid of Bind early. It seems like we have a little bit of a tech pause, but that's okay because, again, St. Clair, right, just like us, we are very patient. St. Clair, they look to do that as well, and that's what's led them to high plant rates and high post-plant successes as well.
No, you're absolutely right. You know, that was something they really were dominant on last week. We saw a bunch of times where Ball State was trying to, retake site. St. Clair was so good at, planting early, being super aggressive, and Ball State just had nothing really to work with because their post-plant defense was just so strong. St. Clair's, I might add, and that all starts with the play. And we were talking about how good Tillo and Seth were as well. Seth being that sage, Tillo, giving that intel for the team, just so strong, working together as a unit. And when you combine those skills with, your 1v1 players like Instinct and JP, and then Taiga as your fifth, sort of like your flex player to just, fill in the gaps where you need them to be, like, it really is a well-built roster. They just have to make sure that they're on a good one tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for Lotus, it wouldn't surprise me at all if we see the double controller coming out, if we see Taiga on the Omen and Seth on the Viper. It's what happened last time. Something that they're really good at doing is, again, they will set up their Viper wall commonly down that A site, right? And the whole point is they'll allow Taiga to kind of operate freely on anywhere else that he wants to. He can either double up and make it really confusing for for Cumberland to kind of navigate who really is on A. I think that's something that St. Clair are really good at doing is phantom pressure. And that was something that we saw a lot of on Lotus last time, right? I mean, count the amount of times that we saw Instinct on B or C on the Lotus attack, right? And it turns out, like, he'll get a pick down there, he'll get the entry, everyone immediately rotates over from A, right, and B, and it seems like, again, that worked on Ball State. St. Clair, then when they get the comms that there are multiple people going to Instinct's way, they hear the noise kind of drift out, then they take space. And the thing that they're so good at is not the fact that they're taking space by forcing it, they're taking it when they get it, and they do it so damn fast. I mean, the amount of times we've seen them collapse on site, even, I know Sunset's banned, so it's kind of irrelevant, but even when we saw that St. Clair, Seth, is willing to run the Sage on Sunset, right? This is a two-way street. On attack, we saw him using that Sage wall to really just get them in and immediately deny Ball State that crossfire from Market onto the B site, right? So, again, these are things, small things that St. Clair do to create phantom pressure and then explode onto site, and basically hoping that Instinct, especially if he's on that Yoru, can immediately then recall and then reposition. So it's really well done by St. Clair. Their attacks are always so well thought out. But for me, it's going to be even more interesting seeing them on the defense first.
No, for sure. And not saying that they're uncomfortable on defense, but clearly Cumberland has their favorites for these maps. They have a way they like to play, and we'll get a good look at how they like to play. You would think that, these two teams have some history as well. Cumberland, last time they were playing St. Clair, defeated them in the quarterfinals of CECC, so I'm sure the Saints are still a little sore about that one. That one also did go to a third map.
Yes.
And that one, the roster is a little bit different. I mean, JP was sitting on the other side of the other side of the desk that time.
Yeah,
so
it's interesting.
We'll see how that changes this time because, again, you talk about Instinct a lot, but, JP really is going to be the X factor, I think, tonight. We already were talking about it. I think just that extra emotional, those emotional stakes that he has going into this one, it's just going to bring out the best play for St. Clair, and hopefully the team can rally around that. Hopefully they can, support their guy. This is obviously a big moment for him. They should be there for him, and with Cumberland again taking one in a different esport last night. You know, that also might just be a little bit of extra fuel for the fire. Hopefully we can get at least one and split this doubleheader with Cumberland these last 2 days.
Right, I mean, I don't know where else we would be seeing Cumberland potentially in the rest of this NACE season, unless the rounds then reset and we have to play people multiple times in the year, which I'm sure that's going to happen. But again, Cumberland, let's talk about Cumberland on Haven, right? Again, potentially, we looked at their numbers. Slightly above average on both Lotus and Haven. Again, none of the numbers really shot out to us. Everything was really just screaming, oh my god, 78% Abyss. That being said, this was back when JP was probably still on the roster at the time. So before the core of that roster teaches the newbies what to really do there, they kind of got to go a little more bland in terms of their map pool. It's not as deep as I really honestly thought it was going to be in. But, man, I just got to say, I'm a little bit surprised as now getting into game, we're just going to be straight on in. It seems like Instinct now on the Neon, just holding out on C-Mount. I think he's just gone completely uncontested. Just has to be patient here. This Raze, more than likely, with the Clove, just going to walk straight by him. He's opting to not wait any longer. Gets the first pick as well, a headshot straight to Enzo.
I mean, you talk about trigger discipline, but I mean, you just had to make a move there. I mean, that was such a perfect opportunity for Instinct to strike. Thankfully, didn't get swung on. Perfect way to start. Good one for Tillo as well. Does get traded up by Snarly, but does add another pick for the Saints now as they are in an advantageous position as Taiga
Huge headshot.
facing down two. Does get one. Can't get the second one. Instinct finds another one. It's all up to Zeka to try and... Actually, I believe that was Atlas, the last one. JP adding a little bit of body shots afterwards. You know, we were talking about the personal stakes here. I mean, we saw it right there. I mean, the shooting the body afterwards, the teabagging as well. I mean, he's fired up for sure.
100%. And I mean, you just got to let him know out the gate early, right? And it's no surprise to me. I should have probably called this out earlier because it is just kind of basic and normal to see. If JP is going to be on Sentinel, yes, I know he loves the chamber, and we saw him on Lotus on that last time. But when you are defending Lotus first, it is very common as Vise that you want to just solo hold C. And what that does is it allows you to have so much more of a starting hold because they need to work through so much utility. And because of that, the calls can be made early. JP taking out one with the Outlaw. Some things change as him on the Vises, but some things stay the same. He's still ripping everyone apart. As I'm saying that, Tillo getting two as well, as he is going absolutely berserk. The third through the smoke is going to be able to make the flick. Maybe the fourth. Give him the headshot. Tillo. Huge round two. As Saints so far not showing any flaws.
No, flawless for sure. I mean, what more could you say with Tillo's performance there? Just absolutely picture perfect, pixel perfect with the pistol. I mean, that's exactly the start that you want here. You know, you get a great start in the pistol. You get the boys fired up a little bit with these two early rounds here. JP has just been on one so far. Tillo as well. Really, really good start from St. Clair. Hopefully they can keep this one up. Cumberland, though, looked a little uncomfortable there. The Saints playing the way they like to play, that ultra aggressive, but also, you know, trying to be a little bit patient as well. Cumberland needs to respond here, though. With the Saints, though, with rifles and
so
shotguns
cheeky.
online. Look at Instinct getting set up perfectly here. That smoke gonna go down, and for Cumberland agents just waiting though, but
Wow, well done.
Semic does sniff him out. Taiga falling as well. Cumberland with the early man advantage.
Right, I mean, they're just going to keep this going, and right now you've already taken down three, right? It's just going to be floodgates. Open them up for Cumberland. They're going to immediately storm the A site. That raise nade as well, going to force any position off of Heaven, and because of that, now this plant will go down completely uncontested. Good job there for Cumberland. Get their picks, take the space. Very St. Clair-esque, and well, just what you need to do.
Yeah, this would be a devastating round for Cumberland to lose, so really not surprised that they're taking this aggressive stance early here, but St. Clair with a little bit of extra fight. Sev trying to finish that one off. Not going to happen, unfortunately. Cumberland in a good spot here. Are going to take that one, but not without, you know, Sev at least trying to salvage it, but just not going to happen. We knew Cumberland wasn't going to just lay down and die here, but, you know, still a really good start from St. Clair, but Cumberland just made the right adjustments.
Yeah, absolutely, and I mean, at least at the very minimum, you deny St. Clair that bonus, so now things going to be evened up a lot sooner as Cumberland all in favor of that, obviously. You don't want to get blown out here, but again, Lotus, an attacker-sided map. So for St. Clair, given that their attack is so strong, if you give up rounds on defense willy-nilly to St. Clair, they will make you pay, as the Fade Out's going to come in and just barely sniffs out a couple players on that C mound, though they've already chosen their fate as they want to force their way through, and they're going to do just that. Seth going down is now Instinct and JP there for support, the main gunners, and they're going to be able to find their mark as they get rid of Enzo. And now Cumberland, they look to back off. Taiga getting picked off elsewhere, though, has given Cumberland that into B site. So well done on the rotation as Instinct falls, and Cumberland should get this plant down.
Tillo adding another one, though, but another member of St. Clair falling. 2v2 now. JP and Tillo trying to get this this defuse down. JP trying to stall out from B. Is Cumberland in a really, really good spot. Semic and Atlas defending the B site as Tillo creeps his way up. Does make a little bit of noise. Does get spotted out, but does win the fight against Semic. Now only up to Atlas, but Atlas takes out JP. The 1v1 now. Tillo does start the defuse, though. Atlas does have a mark, does know where he is, and Atlas is going to clean him up. Cumberland ties it back up.
Right, I mean, good reactionary flick there from Atlas, and even then, he did a really good job of burning the time as he should. Cumberland ties it up 2 apiece and does a really good job of just rotating out, catches Taiga unsuspectingly in the B side of the map, and through there takes their space. They have their avenue. But well done from St. Clair to just hold them off of C. It's unfortunate, though, the support staff in the back end wasn't able to stay alive and really hold that pinch that St. Clair were trying to get Cumberland into.
Yeah, and this is going to be something that we're going to be watching, is these, these retakes on site. Cumberland starting on attack, Lotus an attacker favored map, so these retakes are going to have to be perfect from St. Clair at every moment here. They almost had it there, but Cumberland just had a strong, stout defense. We'll see if St. Clair is able to respond. Instinct opening up with that first pick, but Cumberland with 3 of their own, excuse me, is now Till and JP once again left to sort of pick up the pieces of this round here. It'd be really unfortunate if St. Clair could lose a third one here. Cumberland definitely looks like they're starting to get some momentum going their way.
Absolutely, and it was really well done from Cumberland, right? Just to blind out the B-Link, establish that control really early on, and that is going to take away your two-way cross that you need to make in order to go through tree. So it was really well done, and now what Cumberland have is the option of rotating off to B site. Look at St. Clair, they're all just one-dimensionally split up, right? So they can't watch any other site. They have everything waiting for this A-take, but little do they know, it's not coming soon. Taiga just passing by the Vise there is now the plant able to go down. Cumberland doing a really good job of repositioning on their attacks.
And clearly they have a site that they like to favor. I mean, this is the 3rd B hit we've seen from them. JP, ooh, a nice double from JP. Could be salvageable for St. Clair, as now it's up to Enzo.
The overhealth.
In the 1v1 with JP. Taiga trying to get the defuse. Misses that shot with...
No way.
Ooh, now JP falls. Enzo now, and Taiga, the only ones left, but Taiga is going to get the defuse. JP, the decoy, just giving Taiga enough time to get the defuse. St. Clair retake the lead. Ooh, that was a really tough one, but really good retake from St. Clair there.
Right, I mean, if that Vise ult from JP doesn't hit, huge round as he finds the double. If that Vise ult does not hit the final player on Cumberland, right, they have that confidence with the primary to swing out, but because you have to switch to the secondary, second questioned taking the swing, and because of that, that bought the last player, I believe that was Tillo in that engagement, who was able to find the final bit of the defuse. So well done there from St. Clair, especially JP, willing that round together for them as they take 3-2.
And I gotta give credit to Enzo there. I mean, we saw him just pulling out that pistol, quickly quickly locking on JP's head. That was an absolutely absurd play from the Cumberland star there. JP, though, with the Outlaw in hand, he's so dangerous with these semi-auto rifles. You gotta think that he's gonna look to make a big play here.
Absolutely, and as that door goes through, Prowler's going to be able to find the one just chilling near waterfalls. Now JP Outlaw in hand, but no one's really going to be challenging him on the mound. The Prowler's probably not going to see anything for now as it just dissipates. Now the Omen smoke. Semic Everything relies on him and where he wants to position here. We saw that they're going to elect to hop off the B take because St. Clair, they have that link established. It's going to most likely have to be a force through C mound. And if they want to elect to use that door, they very well might. But off the boombot, they know where one is. It's going to be the wallbangs that come out. Seth down to 5 health. It's going to be JP. Finds a wallbang, though, with the Outlaw. Both St. Clair players so low, though. And actually, the self-revive comes on through from the Clove. Enzo needs to try to find one and can reestablish himself in this round. Huge picks going down for St. Clair over on the B side. But it's going to be Snarly to take down Instinct. JP rotating in Taiga with a huge 2-piece. Give him the third, actually, as well. Seth going to get traded out, but now Atlas on fire with the Spitfire. Going to be able to throw out this haunt here, but it's going to get destroyed. And because of that, the reposition and the save is going to have to happen because St. Clair have the spike. And with 5 seconds left to go, that Fade is not going to try to contest the 2v1.
Yeah, great composure from St. Clair, though. It looked like Cumberland was going to have a chance to get back into it, but those picks coming through late, just able to give St. Clair enough time to secure that one, you know, set up around the spike so that Cumberland had no chance of retaking it. Atlas electing to save there, a wise decision. St. Clair up 2 rounds again. But from like we've seen and what we expected, this really is going to be a dogfight of a series here. Both teams just really coming out firing and coming out strong so far. It's been so exciting so far. It really has been. On the edge of my seat, Smoke.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I expect nothing less of the series. What I will say, though, Evan, something to keep in mind, is that given Cumberland's first 6 rounds on Lotus attack, I'm not that impressed. You've already given St. Clair 4 rounds here, and as they establish man advantage, they're just so good at trading each other out. Seth finding an unanswered pick now as the Vise Wall comes out through B, trapping the Clove. Is going to be able to establish even further man advantage for St. Clair, and they're just going to hold this cross as Omen on the smoke. Snarly baiting out, has an idea of where one is, but with the classic, the blind orb goes through, and Tillo! A huge shot.
Okay.
Snarly hits the flick as well. 8 bullets left in the mag, but he's going to be more than fine in that engagement, making the Dance Revolution come through. Snarly hitting some crazy moves that he didn't even know he was capable of.
Man, Tillo has had a great half so far. I mean, I don't know how he saw
One enemy
Atlas
remaining.
through the smoke and just spray and pray. I guess, you know, fake it till you make it, but Tillo he's been really doing some heavy lifting for St. Clair so far. You know, we talked about how big Instinct and JP was, but he's really stepped up as we're going to get a timeout here early, give the teams a chance to catch their breath. But St. Clair with a 3-round lead now. You hope they can carry that momentum through. Hopefully that timeout won't ruin things too much.
Right, but I mean, this is going to definitely be Cumberland's timeout, is that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to just stop St. Clair's momentum. You've given up 5 rounds right now on a Lotus defense. Remember, I said earlier, slightly above average numbers for Cumberland on Lotus, right? So, again, this is something that they're probably not used to seeing, is St. Clair are doing very good on their Lotus defense. And this was obviously a side that I questioned St. Clair on, because last week, Ball State picked Lotus against St. Clair, and while we did see them a little bit on defense, we only get like maybe 3-4 rounds, because St. Clair, I believe, had a 10-2 lead, if I'm not mistaken, or a 10-3 lead as of the first half that went through. Like, it was very dominant. It actually might have even been like 11-2. So, again, we didn't see a whole lot from St. Clair on the defensive Lotus, but now, looking at what they have in store, seems like this Vise pick from JP has been working out very well. They split up their defense and allow St. Clair to have that flexibility that they ever so need.
Yeah, looks like Cumberland's going to be attempting another C hit, potentially. Advantageous for Cumberland, potentially. They are going a little bit aggressively. St. Clair having to rotate back in, try and stop them. Atlas going to get the quick plant down again.
Spike planted.
Another chance for the Saints to prove they're solid with the retakes, as Zeka getting that ult out, not finding anybody there. St. Clair now have to figure out where the holes are in this defense and what's the best way to retake this site.
Well, I don't know if there is really going to be one, so you have to just brute force find yourself one as well. Instinct putting up the fast lane, can just get around, knows where one is, gets rid of the haunt, finds 2. Snarly going to be able to take him down, but now St. Clair, they can blast on through. Tillo has one with the haunt, knows where he is, can't miss these shots though, and Cumberland, they're hitting them all when they matter. A huge hold on the defense there as St. Clair, I thought Isaac had done enough to form a gap, but really well done there to establish early pressure, not respecting the Vise utility on C, and to tunnel on through, making St. Clair play that retake.
Yeah, that's a a really tough one to lose there, especially when you invest a lot of ults as well in that one. Going to make the next few rounds going to be just that much tougher without those big ults. You know, like you said, you thought Instinct was able to get through enough, just couldn't get through until missing those couple shots. You know, when he's able to get that intel on that Cumberland agent, just an unfortunate turn there. That timeout clearly paying dividends for St. Clair, but Instinct responds quickly with another early pick for him. We'll see if Cumberland's able to find another answer. Taiga, though, looks like he's going to be in another early confrontation here. He's got 2 on the other side of that Viper wall, but Zeka is right there to take him out.
Well done from Instinct to at least hit that B-Link and get out with that pick. Now he can reestablish position just in front of Tree. As Cumberland, they're just stacking up beautiful shots down, but on 10 health now. Gonna want to peel back or be at least the traded man that Tillo can try to get back. Holding the 7 position. As Tillo's just gonna reposition when he re-swings this. I was gonna say Snarly just has some really bad timing on that crosshair placement. I believe the drop was heard though, and I think they know that Tillo is currently just residing in pit right now in hell.
Mark 2.
The marks come through, but he's got to be so patient. I believe they know where he is. They're just waiting. This swing's going to come through uncontested, though, and all of a sudden, no! That was your spike! Cumberland, what are you doing? You have to try to get a plant down there. Instead, they try to swing onto Tillo, and it doesn't work out. Well done, though, as Saints. They did establish the numbers advantage, so they really did have Cumberland in between a rock and a hard place.
No, absolutely. I think Tillo knew he got away with that one there. I mean, you could see him standing up from his chair. He must have been hyped up after that one, you know. But you're right. Just a really baffling decision from Cumberland there. You have your spike carrier try and swing out and clear out Tillo, and he's like, he knows where he is. Like, you know, his rifle is pointed exactly where the swing was going to come through, and then it's all down to the last member, and just... you know, just some mental mistakes here from Cumberland, but St. Clair is going to take advantage, and Instinct finds 2 to open the round again. He is so good at these early picks there. Another hot start for St. Clair as they are just completely dominating this round here. Another one going for St. Clair, 7-3 early. They're really starting to turn up the heat now.
Well, you know what? I talked about patience for St. Clair, but something that they can do if they're playing patient on their defense, they can immediately, they know, they can tap into their ways of old, ramp up the aggression, and all of a sudden, just absolutely full send it. And that's what they've done there. Perfectly done by Instinct. The first 2 picks, the man is red hot on entry as he usually is, was 6-6 now, has had the last 5 picks uncontested. Tillo, 14-4 as well, just going absolutely stupid, finding every right position to find himself easy picks. So well done here from St. Clair. Their level of positioning and understanding of the awareness of the attack right now of Cumberland, it's definitely been on full display. As now Cumberland tried to advance through A. They're going to get halted though by a little bit of a flash.
Yeah, St. Clair now have to defend against this A hit. Haven't seen Cumberland really go for a successful A hit as now the rest of the team rotates back in. Hopefully stall Cumberland just that little bit. Hopefully get something going here as the whole team's stacked up.
Good rotation.
Good rotations coming through. St. Clair now having to change their plans a little bit. Looks like we're going to be getting some rotations through potentially mid, or maybe not, because now that Atlas gets the spike down, now your plans have to change. We'll see if St. Clair can stay hot and get this retake. That's a great start from Tillo. He is continuing to stay hot. That's Zeka falling. JP, though, can't finish off Enzo. Snarly adding another one. This looks like a round could go to Cumberland. Unless Instinct has anything to say about it. Is going to get the swing. Not going to get through that one. Sev does get one. Tillo adding a second.
1 enemy remaining.
But Snarly gets rid of Tillo. Enzo going to finish it off. Cumberland does indeed take that round there, but Saints able to do some damage at least, but just not able to get everything to line up properly.
And I'll tell you what, I called it the rotation, but it was even better for Cumberland to just fake it out. Phantom pressure, as I talked about before.
1 enemy
really well
remaining.
done. Your fade ult, get St. Clair to back off the A side. You fake the rotate. St. Clair's like, what are they doing? Why are they even contesting this B, right? They immediately make St. Clair back up. Positions are known as well. And because of that, Cumberland absolutely read the minds of St. Clair. They pull, they double back, they send it on A. Beautifully done. St. Clair, they fought well to make it close, but the second Instinct got picked off that B-Link, it didn't really matter that he was traded out. They had the numbers advantage, and as you can see, Cumberland, they're learning here as Snarly, picking up the first 2, can just play for trades now, surely.
Well, I think Cumberland has really sort of shifted their priorities because they know that Instinct,
Absolutely.
he is the guy to sort of be that opening pick, you know, getter. And now once you get him off the board early, that definitely swings your chances so early. As now Cumberland trying to get this A hit again. Enzo going to be getting the spike down.
Spike
Saints
planted.
once again in a retake position. We'll see if this one goes better than last round. Enzo, though, patiently waiting for that smoke to go down and Seth to drop. JP drops as well. Atlas finds him.
Like I never left.
Rez coming through to save Enzo, but I don't really think it's going to make that much of a difference as Cumberland takes another one. Let's get one more round before the half
Switching
switch.
sides.
Or is that the half switch happens now? Now St. Clair gets their chance to go on to the attack.
Right, I mean, this is good for St. Clair. They have such a strong attack on Lotus, but that being said, Cumberland, they've faced this core of the team before. They know what they're about here on Lotus attack. So if they read it out, it's not impossible that we could see maybe an OT stretch. But that being said, I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to St. Clair. You don't usually think of good things when you're down 7-5 coming off of the Lotus attack.
That has to still be feeling good, though. I mean, you know,
They've at least got it close for now.
it's at least close. You
Don't
know,
be surprised if the numbers start to favor in the opposite direction.
absolutely, you're right about that. But we're going to see it all starts with the pistol round, and it starts with Instinct finding this first pick.
Oh
Can he
my
get
God.
it?
Oh my
okay.
God, Instinct!
All right,
One
all right, that was
remaining.
gross. All right, Instinct will give it to you there. A triple to start. The
Spike
pistol there.
planted.
Saints once again with a dominant start to the pistol round. The spike goes down as well. We'll see if Sema can get anything going. It's going to be a miracle here, a classic and a dream. Don't think it's going to go through as Taiga finishes him off. Saints with a dominant start to the pistol round once again. Swinging that momentum back in their favor, slowly but surely crawling their way. We got to see that one on a replay
I was
again.
going to say, you immediately have to do it. I mean, they just line up so perfectly. Headshots galore. Isaac, have a day. Young man is 14-8 now. Tillo dropping 17 as well. Again, for kills in general, the big names doing their jobs. And honestly, like again, JP and Seth and Taiga, they're not that far off either. They're just holding themselves where they need to be. They're finding the picks, no empty frags for them. And that's all that matters in the end, really, is St. Clair now looking to see if they can make true on their conversion.
No peeking.
Trying to see if this Clove will maybe move a little too far up through B, through mid, into maybe the spawn, and just sitting there waiting. Two St. Clair attackers, but I don't think this lurk's going to come out. If it was going to happen, it would have been already done by now.
No, I think so. Saints biding their time, being very patient. The spike still left in T-spawn there as Instinct does go and pick it up, as now the rotation is going to come through. See where the Saints decide to strike. Looks like they're going to be thinking about this A hit here, as now some abilities do come out. Cumberland having a better idea of where St. Clair is going to be coming from. We typically see St. Clair on Lotus be a little quicker with these spike plants here. I'm a little surprised that they're being patient here, as now this gives Cumberland time to get the defense set up,
Oh
but
my
it doesn't
God.
even matter as the Saints just explode with picks right at the start there. That's Seth with 2, Taiga with another.
30 seconds
Advantageous situation for St. Clair now. They have all the time in the world to make this play the way they want it to go.
left. Last player
Right, but I
standing.
mean, again, there's no chance. Snowball's chance in hell there for Snarly. Double swing, especially when you got Instinct movement tech and has the Bucky for that close range too. Doesn't really matter if you classic alt fire there. There's probably no chance to get that one down. A nice headshot though. But as the double swing comes through, all it's going to require is the coach to bait himself out, as Taiga should get a free one there, as St. Clair, they make well on their conversion.
Yeah, they're going to take those picks either way. It doesn't matter if it's free. They're going to take it because at the end of the day, it all matters on how you finish the game here. And so far, the Saints look like they're going to be getting a really solid finish in this one. Still a lot of Valorant left to play, but I've been really, really impressed on how they've been coming out on this attacker side.
Well, shout out our free cam observer for being able to find the Lotus Bears. Always nice to see.
Those who know.
Those who know. Exactly. As now, St. Clair just moving through, able to find the first pick is JP, but well traded out is Enzo, and that's one of your 2 controllers down. No line smokes anymore that will be available for use for St. Clair, but that being said, not that I think they really give a damn. You got C site now completely free, plant goes down, and now It's all about how Cumberland can retake. Looking at the rotations, it seems like they're going to opt to come through the backside as now Mound getting pressured as well as that revolving door on B is. I don't think they're necessarily aware of these St. Clair positions. They're still kind of firing through. I believe Instinct was just barely caught out there from Atlas, but holding this close with a shotgun. Tillo, he should be able to get at least one here, but no! The shotty fails him. JP able to get one, but now it's almost panic stations for St. Clair. They're completely surrounded. Help needs to come through. JP with a third. The man is going absolutely insane. Jumping around, cannot movement tech it though. Enzo on the defuse. And maybe he should be able to get it done, but no, definitely not. No time left. The delay from JP was strong enough. You had numbers advantage, no one hops on the spike, and all of a sudden, it all goes awry for Cumberland.
Dare I say that was cast a curse against you there. You know, you're hyping up Tillo. You know, he was in such a great spot with the shotgun, but unfortunately coming up empty.
Oh, he's going to hate me for that one later.
Man. Oh, looks like St. Clair did end up winning the round, though. Looks like the spike did
actually
detonate.
They delayed time,
perfectly,
right? So,
but you're right there. You know, Tillo just, you know, not a good one there, you know, not a good look. But, I mean, he's had a good game so far, so we'll let him have that one. It's okay. He's been contributing in other ways, so that one's all right.
Can't harp on him too hard there. And, I mean, the Bucky sometimes is a little bit inconsistent, so it's just unfortunate, especially on the double swing, right? So many targets. Who to choose? We've all been there in an FPS game, and sometimes, you know, you just don't get any, and then you slam your keyboard down and throw your mouse at your window. It is what it is, but St. Clair.
That was very specific, oddly specific. I don't know if that's you speaking from experience there. I might have to probe.
Maybe seen Instinct.
I might have
do
to
that
probe
one.
there a little.
Little Instinct
after.
move there. I'm not gonna lie, but no, it's St. Clair now focusing back up. They're just being very patient here as they look for a slow take on C Mound. Maybe a potential overextension from Atlas. 10 health, and the shots through the smoke will land. And now that they have their first pick, it's going to be all rotations for Cumberland, but Instinct with another one just running away. Snarly going to fall as well. They are just doing so good at not letting Cumberland trade them back. I mean, any picks that they're finding, they're isolating their ones. They're forcing Cumberland to make their players not stack up, and we get the comms that they're 2 on C. Guess what that means, team? Let's all rush the hell out of A. Is Semic going to be able to find one? But as so long as Instinct can try to prolong the rotation here, St. Clair can still play his numbers advantage in a 3v2. Why not let them try to find these last ones? As
Thorns activated.
I believe JP will already be calling out. He must have heard that jump. We did, I mean, from here, so they must know the positions now. As it's all but a matter of time.
Yeah, you know, JP definitely wants to find this final kill here. I mean, he's been quiet since his hot start, but he is going to still add those body shots at the very end there. You know, he's still always got to make sure you're getting that through. But like we said, he's been a little quiet since he's had that hot start. You know, Tillo sort of picking up the slack there, but everybody still very balanced. A very balanced attack for St. Clair. Besides Tillo, clearly, you know, leading the way here, but everyone else just a very, very balanced attack so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, what I talked about is really coming into fruition, and this just shows you, Evan, right? 4 unanswered attacking round wins for St. Clair to start off. It really does show that giving them those 7 rounds on defense, how much it truly does cost you, right? So numbers swinging their way for now as it's going to be St. Clair who try to look to build up pressure on A. Alice sitting here calm as now they're going to rotate off as they've seen enough. Don't look to contest it any further. Tillo trying to make use of that Prowler as they seem to be switching things up, and it's going to be interesting to see how St. Clair play the rest of this round out.
No, for sure. I'd like to see them take a potential C hit. If you can clear out that Omen on Mound, you know, you have sight essentially free. Hopefully the Saints are able to pick up on that intel as Snarly just waiting patiently. JP just on the other side of the barrel here, but Snarly is going to win that duel. Great news for Cumberland as your C defense has been bolstered just that much more. Even more good news now as it's all up to Tillo. Or St. Clair does find Atlas. Not going to be able to get Semic though. Cumberland does get one back after what felt like a really, really long streak from St. Clair, but still a lot of work for Cumberland to do if they want to get back into this one.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, you're starting in a really good spot now, at least. St. Clair, they have a lot of buffers to still give up, so They're not worried. Cumberland not letting this one spiral down. It was a really good job for Cumberland. I was going to say they're in a really good spot, at least when it comes to defending the B on the rotation there. But at the same time, St. Clair, right, they've just looked so dominant. I don't want to cast a cursor or anything. I just honestly, I really do not see. It would take one hell of an effort for Cumberland to shoot themselves back in here. And for St. Clair to throw this one, yeah, they would actively be having to shoot themselves in the foot. Instinct able to find one. Can't get the second, though. The fade ult goes down, and now Taiga. It's a free-for-all on C Mound. Tillo able to take one, though, and now the kill board all lighting up red as Atlas willing to change that. St. Clair, rotation over to A side, potentially a good first pick as Cumberland now trying to react to what they've just seen.
Yeah, got to react to what they've just seen. St. Clair, you know, getting a little bloodied after that team fight there, but still in the fight. Tillo trying to creep his way with the spike is now the rest of the team having to rotate back with him. Cumberland, though, they are split, so B is free now, so you should be able to get this plant down, and Tillo is going to do exactly that. Now it's all up to the post plant. Just make sure that you just stay composed, don't overextend too much, and just hit your shots. That's really all it comes down to. It's easier said than done, but Seth, off to a good start, showing how it's done. That's the coach getting it done for his team. Semic now, the chance to retake JP on 13 HP could spell trouble if this fight doesn't go his way. JP with a bit of a pre-fire as Semic backs up. Tillo finishes it off. 1 round away before match point. Hopefully the Saints can close this one here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I've talked to a lot of Valorant players in the past. You know, they've always told me, Pat, even if it means that we can save up ults, if you have them, you want to just use them just to get on match points. Sometimes it just feels so good. Even if it means you have to waste some resources to just be on match point in an area like this, right? You have Cumberland winning the last round. You do not want to give them a potential for a little bit of a momentum changer. St. Clair, they've denied them that opportunity, and it's all but a matter of time at this point before we potentially are going to be looking at heading into Ascent, where St. Clair will start on that defensive side as well.
Yeah, that one's going to be a little hairy. You know, we did talk about how that's Cumberland's map pick. They're very strong on Ascent. We'll see if they have, you know, a response to this performance here. I think Cumberland would be a little disappointed with how they've started, you know, coming out a little cold. St. Clair definitely with a lot more fire behind them. See if St. Clair is able to just keep that momentum going into the next round. You know, just one round at a time, right? Like, you just can't be thinking about the end. You just have to take it one at a time. So far, St. Clair has been able to do that in staying composed. But I think right here, what do you think? Just a C rush completely? What do you think we're gonna see?
Well, I don't want to call anything and immediately just look like an idiot when it doesn't happen, but
There.
for St. Clair, I think you just kind of wait and see if Isaac can really get anything working on that C man as he's done so many times before. Taiga just getting past that cross on B and now can control Cumberland. If anyone overextends in this mid, I say control, but Enzo has his number. JP, a quick refrag, and because of that, St. Clair, the revolving door gets sound. Everyone knows where they're going to go. It's now just going to be an all-out firefight. The wall is going to trap Seth in, but no, the fast lane able to block off his position, and at least he's able to claim one. And because of that, now all the stops entering for St. Clair. They have to back up, though. That Vise ult going to jam Isaac's primary for now. But we see the rotation able to be found as St. Clair, I believe they're looking to just storm onto A.
That's what it's looking like exactly. And Cumberland seems to be wise to that as well, as you can see the rest of them Snarly making his way over to A. We'll see if St. Clair can get there first and hopefully get their sights set up the way they want to. Is
maybe a phantom pressure rotate to
Not
B.
ready yet.
that's
Retrieving
a good
flash.
call. You know, you said you don't want to call anything. It's not going to happen, but we'll see what happens. This pick is going to be huge potentially. That is a great start to give the Saints control of A as Tillo finds another one. It's all up to Semic to save this series or this map for Cumberland. Tall order though, as you have 3 Saints on site all with pretty full HP, but Semic does get JP down. Site is clear now.
He has no idea where they are right now.
Tillo and
It's
Instinct
through
off
process
site.
elimination.
Semic, yeah, he doesn't know where they are, just slowly creeping his way up. Oh, does find Tillo. Tillo not even looking in his
Oh,
direction.
man. The time, though.
Does Instinct have enough time to get back in and delay the defuse? Instinct is going to have to swing really, really quickly here. Perfectly lands the shot.
Attackers
No
win.
pressure felt from Instinct as the Saints take Lotus, take map 1 in this series. I mean, pretty dominant fashion. I mean, that attacker side was really, really heavily St. Clair favored. So hopefully they can carry that momentum into Ascent. But so far, I've been impressed with how they've come out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that game was nothing of spectacular for St. Clair, right? Anytime that you take 7 rounds on Lotus defense, only expect big things to come through, right, Evan? So really well done there from St. Clair as Tillo just went absolutely massive that entire game. I would expect that he would be my map MVP as we maybe potentially can pull up the stats soon, but I think that, right, St. Clair looking really good as they move on to Ascent. The defensive side of that, I might add, which I will say, like, yes, Ascent is kind of a little more of a 50-50, but it is mainly defender-sided. The only reason why I say it's a little more of a 50-50 is because everyone's played it so damn much, right? So you kind of already know every setup, every take. It's really hard to kind of mix things up, but you never know with this St. Clair team. They truly are capable of producing some special things.
No, it's true, and I think we have seen some special things already. And, you know, you talk about how, you know, Ascent is sort of this, like, default map pick. You know, it's a fan favorite. Everybody loves it, has played it so much. You know, the lineups are known, but if that's the case, then if it does come down to simply, like, just gun skill, I think I might have to give the favor to St. Clair. I mean, we've seen some incredible flicks so far, some great display of skill. You know, JP, like you said, he had a really solid start on map 1. You would hope to think that he can build off of it. If Tillo can continue to perform as well as he has been, same with Instinct, I think I might take St. Clair on Ascent. I think it would be close, like maybe like a 13-10, like 13-11, but if we're talking about just gun skill specifically, I think I have to favor them, you know, bias aside.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that, but again, anybody on this St. Clair roster, yeah, it's great that they can fire on all cylinders. I will say, there's a reason why Cumberland has obviously picked this map. They are very comfortable on it to the point where they're willing to pick it out over that Abyss pick, over forcing St. Clair on a map that they might be uncomfortable with. So, Cumberland, they have opted for comfort. But at the same time, what will St. Clair do about that? On the defensive side, first, going to be very weird to see how they hold them off. That being said, we have our stats ready, so we can finally throw those up, and here we go, the grand reveal as bam, Tillo, 24-11. I mean, the man was just absolutely on fire. Instinct as well, 17-12, and just the amount of times that he picked up, not even just singular, but multi-kills on entry, really kind of fueled St. Clair, really was the jump starter for their attack.
No, for sure. You know, the jump starter for everything, really, and as you know, take a look at the Cumberland side there, Snarly leading the way, or sorry, Enzo leading the way with 15 picks for him. Zeka with a really, really quiet game, only 3 picks for him. That definitely was a big impact as well. It's almost like you're playing with a 4v5 in that case. Zeka just feeding St. Clair in that one, unfortunately. Look for him to have a potential bounce back game on Ascent, but again, we'll see what happens, you know. But Tillo, again, leading the way for St. Clair. Just hopefully we can get a repeat performance on Ascent, because that is just such an asset when all members of your team are able to fire on all cylinders there. And Tillo obviously taking home the MVP of map 1, an ACS of 341 smoke. Just crazy for Lotus, 24-11. Love? Maybe. I might.
I'm not nervous. I'm just saying for St. Clair, right, if Tillo's firing on all cylinders going into Ascent, it's going to be very good, as he was one of the quiet guns last week. So really well done for St. Clair, showing that they have a capable team who can fire at all cylinders, anybody at all times. The only person we really haven't seen unlock so far, at least kill-wise, right, had that huge pop-off game, Taiga, but I know it's coming soon. And I get he's not really on the roll to necessarily do that, but he's the last one, in my opinion, to get that done. But hopefully he can have that on Ascent, which we will have coming to you shortly in a 2-minute break.
you're meant to be my friend. I'm trying to understand all the blood that's on your hands. Your silence is deadly.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, back for map 2 of NACE Super Conference Week 2. St. Clair going up against Cumberland is now. We just got out of a 13-6 on Lotus. St. Clair in favor of that one, as they lead 1-0 in the series, as now we head down to Ascent, which will have Cumberland starting on attack in St. Clair with that stalwart defense that we always know that every team probably has on Ascent because they've all played it so damn much. I'm joined by Evan, as I am Patrick Smoke Chambers, and man, potentially the final one. I was going to fill up my water bottle and I actually ran into JP and I was kind of like, so what did you think? And he was like, man, I don't know. Like, they just don't know what they're doing. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I was like, honestly, I brought it up to him. I was like, do you think it was the map bans? Do you think like letting you guys have Haven? And he literally just looked me stone cold in the eyes and just said, bro, I just think they're just bad, bro. And I was
okay.
like,
all right,
man.
Okay.
So he is fired up, carrying that passion, carrying the BM into map 2, and we love to see it. But Cumberland, no team that are just going to sit in the dirt and die. We've seen them take Winthrop to game 3 in the first week of NACE. No reason why they cannot do it against St. Clair here. And I mean, you heard me. Look, JP, love you, brother. But I'm telling you right now, I do have many realities where I see Cumberland winning this map and forcing that game 3.
I'm thinking the same as well. Like, I'm sort of in the same boat as you, where I really admire JP's confidence here. And obviously, I mean, why wouldn't you be confident? I mean, you did have a very, very strong first map here. I mean, barring a couple rounds where things, might have gone your way, but just weren't able to, it was a really, really strong start for St. Clair. And you hope that that passion that JP has, that fire, it seems like it really is rubbing off on the team. I mean, we've sort of seen, we know Tillo does get, emotional and fired up as well. So I'm sure that, sort of feeds into that as well. But, like I said, Cumberland has the ability to surprise people as well, able to take a 13-3 win last week. Will that happen, like, in a couple minutes? I can't say for certain, but we will see. But I think it'll be close. I don't think this one's going to be, like, super one-sided either way, unless St. Clair just really comes in, like, firing on all cylinders and just not losing that momentum they'd really built up at the last half of Lotus, which is very possible. Like you said, if JP's feeling himself right now, that certainly could happen. But if I'm thinking a bit more realistically, you have to think that Cumberland is going to sit the team down and just try and plan out the best way to have a rebound map.
Yeah, I think it's got to be mental reset here for Cumberland, and I think that on Ascent right, you do have that added pressure on St. Clair. You start on defense. The onus is on you. How many rounds are you going to give us on attack so that when we swap over, we're going to be able to hold potentially better than you, right? That's kind of like how it was in map 1, right? St. Clair, how many rounds are you going to give them on defense, Cumberland? 7? Cakewalk. I think that right now, it's the same thing moving forward as we see the agent select comes through, and really aggressive comp early as we see the Reyna and the Jet as well being picked out from Cumberland, the initiator of Sova, Omen, and the Cypher as well. No surprise there, as we also finally get to see JP on his actual #1 main. It only took us 2 weeks and 2 games, but finally seeing him on Saints Gaming CA stream with the KJ, and it's not going to work out well for him.
No, not a good start there. If you're Cumberland, you have to be feeling good about, how fast you've come out. But, like you said, you got the Jet in there as well. Like, very aggressive comp from Cumberland, right off the rip, which is what we've seen here. I mean, we're already, spiked down onto B. St. Clair having to, readjust here and, potentially try and save this one. But it's going to be really tough, especially with the way Cumberland is positioned in this post plan. Taiga and Seth going to have to be perfect in this retake, but Cumberland so far, their defense has been stout as Shots continue to fire on both sides here. Crossfire set up. Taiga is going to fall into the trap. Cumberland take the first pistol round on Ascent. Strong look for them. Very aggressive first look as well. St. Clair is going to have to find a way to match that.
Right, I mean, a fire being lit under them, right? JP been disrespecting them, right? So Cumberland, you got to show that man up if you want to get to map 3, and a really well done job of doing that, right? Do not respect St. Clair's defense. Full throttle, force it, pedal to the metal, because the pressure's not on you. You can allow yourself to do risky plays if it means you're going to bag attacking rounds at the end of the day. Now going up by 1, onus is on Cumberland. If they can quickly get the second one, as Enzo's going to be the first to find his mark against Instinct. Plays going out very fast here, but Taiga able to refrag. Then again, I will say, this is Cumberland's round to win, and would be a huge one if they could go up 2-0 on Ascent attack.
I mean, you would have to expect Cumberland to win this one. I mean, they have, they have the rifles right now. St. Clair just doesn't have as much utility or weaponry to work with. You are able to trade out a pick, potentially can steal a rifle to one of your better players to give yourself a chance to maybe steal a couple, get a couple extra picks, if you are going to potentially drop this round. But Cumberland really slowing down the pace now. We saw a super aggressive hit on B to start, and now we're just really taking things slow. So we get a Sova arrow out to potentially get some intel, give Cumberland an idea of how the Saints are defending the site. Seth not able to use that classic to his abilities, and now it's all falling apart for St. Clair as Cumberland crash that site, get the plant down. JP's gonna have a really tough time of retaking this. I mean, you got 2 members of Cumberland or 3 members just holding down that angle. JP with a Bucky and a Dream.
Well.
Yeah,
I
it's
almost wondered if you should just save here in this 1v4. And
that's probably what I would do in this situation.
I mean, if they give you anything on Heaven, then sure, fine. If not, I mean, I really don't see.
Well, it takes one, at least something. If you can...
At least you found one,
Gun
but
here.
yeah, getting that gun's going to be a different challenge, as they're not going to give you the close range that you once had.
Well, they're going to let him take it, though.
It's just whether he's risking to even swing and grab it. I think he will be able to get it in time, as just electing to die all the same. Timer was too low, and, well, he wasn't going to get out anyway. He didn't want to risk the swing out. But well done from Cumberland. A really good job of utilizing the fact that you do have those rifles, as St. Clair still locked on pistols, minus JP with a Bucky. So utilizing that range to your advantage, finding your opening, and then crashing the site when needed with fast-paced aggression. It's exactly what you need to keep doing here. 2-0, and now St. Clair trying to see if they can potentially thwart Cumberland from getting that bonus.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough though. I mean, St. Clair, you do have some rifles online now. Taiga with the Phantom, gonna help just that little bit more. But this becomes a really important round now because Cumberland has looked really, really strong these first 2 rounds. And like you said, if you let them get the bonus, really gonna be tough to build up that momentum, especially when Cumberland, this is their map pick, like we've been saying. Obviously, they have a plan and a strategy for how they want to play this game. And right now, St. Clair is looking for answers as Cumberland, 2 members going through mid, the rest of the team rotating through as well. St. Clair split on the defense. Atlas trying to punch through that sage wall. Little does he know that Seth is waiting on the other side of it to potentially get a pick. That drone is going to spot him out, though. At least give Cumberland a little bit of intel to St. Clair's positions. Once again, another really slow down round for Cumberland. We're expecting a really aggressive start, but might be changing the narrative a little bit, changing the way they want to approach this.
So now we see that it's going to be Enzo
30 seconds left.
finding his pick. They're just crashing on through, have some market presence as well. But JP, he's able to find 2 at minimum. Enzo able to claim the gun as well is going to be massive. Snarly cannot get by, as now Enzo. Instinct cannot get by, my mistake actually, as Enzo's going to be able to find the 3rd. The pick goes down as Tillo able to find another plant as well, and this is a huge 1v1 right here. It's going to be an expensive round for all parties nonetheless, but if Taiga can land the shots,
Tagged him a
he
little
might
bit.
be
There he
able
goes.
to get the flick off, and there it is. in good time as well. Plenty of time to counter defuse. As St. Clair, they're able to get their first on the board.
Cool as a cucumber is Taiga in that situation. You know, you just had to be perfect in that situation. JP had a really, really good chance to steal that round early for St. Clair, just not able to finish that third one. Tillo adding one as well, but Taiga, the hero of that one. St. Clair now on the board. You have to be feeling good about not going down 3-0 early, as now, once again, you have a little bit more utility to work with. Rifles online for everybody now. Now's your chance to really strike and try and come back into the game.
Absolutely, as it seems like Cumberland, they're really just trying to stack up on this B side here, looking to take mid, and they've done so with such great pace. Now they work their way down the side. Reyna I goes out. Good job on the recall going to the respawn side. The blind orb is actually going to miss there as Seth and JP now. That blind orb missing will now be able to give JP all the time he needs. Finds two. Another one that Tillo can trade back out, and through the smoke, Atlas will be able to finally gun him down. But too little too late. St. Clair, they've made a stand.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. JP just putting in work in the exact same spot we saw him in the previous round, and it really paid dividends. I mean, Cumberland just didn't have the wherewithal to check that spot. You know, that blind orb missing definitely benefits St. Clair as, oh my God, Instinct, don't leave your coach hanging like that. There you go. Thank you very much. Seth would have flamed him like crazy if he just left him hanging on cam like that. But JP, once again, making the big impact play.
I mean, I think Seth would just rather just Sage wall him off next round. Like, that's just what he would do,
that would
right?
be BM.
Just absolutely horrid plays there from your coach. But no, good job on St. Clair to equalize theirs. They're up now to 2 apiece. Cumberland
Placing swarm grenade.
going to see what they can muster up again. Not horrible that Cumberland have lost the past 2 rounds. They still have a lot that can work in favor for them, and there's a ton of the first half left to go.
Revealing area.
Still a very good opportunity to claim more attacking rounds on Ascent, but it is not looking like it's going to happen this time. Tillo able to find a couple, give him the third as well. Absolutely goes crazy on B main and makes this so hard for Cumberland to rebound.
I'm really surprised that Cumberland's still trying to get this B hit so hard. I mean, St. Clair is really locked down since that opening round and just not giving Cumberland any opportunity to get anywhere close to the site. I mean, St. Clair just has this game plan locked down so far. I mean, you got JP ready for whoever comes out of the smoke. Instinct as well, setting up that crossfire. Instinct does indeed find when JP does fall. But Atlas now, 3/4 left of his HP. Doesn't matter though, does find Taiga, takes a couple more shots. Atlas, the only man standing left for Cumberland. It's up to Seth. Instinct potentially find it. Instinct is the one who's gonna finish it. St. Clair take the lead for the first time on Ascent.
Might have just gotten the latter half of Instinct leaving Seth actually hanging there on the fist bump, but did a very good job of just blind swinging out, right? The Yoru blind comes through and nothing that Atlas can do. I will say, put up a very strong showing, all things considered. Situation aside, in a 1v4, bring it down to a 1v2. Very well done. But as you can see, those 2 picks, mostly empty in terms of the results on the scoreboard round-wise. 3-2 to St. Clair, and still, Cumberland with a whole lot of time to make stuff work as they advance towards mid on this take.
Yeah, a whole lot of time to work with, but if you're St. Clair, you really want to make sure you secure this one. If you took a quick look at the scoreboard, the economy for a Cumberland just not in a great spot right now. If you can win this round fairly flawlessly, you sort of set Cumberland up for failure in the next couple rounds. That will give St. Clair a golden opportunity to really build up these wins early. And like you said, you know, with the way Ascent is and how, you know, 50-50 it can be, if you can at least take one side, you know, better over the other like we saw on Lotus, Saints might be able to come away with this one as Tillo able to find Enzo with the ult. JP adding another one for St. Clair once again in an advantageous position as another Cumberland member falls. Huge pick from Jay. Snarly though in a spot to fake a plant. Teleport out with his own ability. Atlas as well. Still there, but Tillo, doesn't matter. He will find him. Atlas or a map, he will find you and track you down. Snarly though, caught switching his guns. Oh, so disadvantageous for Snarly as now St. Clair at another one. Instinct saying, come on boys, let's get back into this one. And now they have a bit of momentum to play with.
Well, Isaac just hyping up JP there as he finds the triple, and he's looked really good against his old team, his old org, I should say. As now, St. Clair, they start to finally build some rounds in streaking order. As now, let's say 4 unanswered on the bounce there, and as it should for Ascent, it's common that, okay, you give up the pistol round, it means you're probably going to give up the conversion as well, but since then, looking pretty damn good. Is got a KJ ult in pocket as well, just in case things get dicey.
Yeah, things could get dicey here. I mean, you never know. We'll see what happens here. We'll see what Cumberland, we'll see what play they decide to draw up here. You know, you need to find some answers. B clearly not working out for you. We'll see if they decide to take an A hit here. Looks like they might be setting up for a potential
Get
hit.
out of my way.
Depending on the picks that fall through. Instinct waiting for anybody to come through mid, trying to get into a perfect position. Enzo slowly making his way up. Seth, the lone defender for St. Clair, and he is going to get spotted out by Enzo. Instinct with a refrag, quickly equalizing the score, but Zeka now with the jet ult out, but bit of a wasted opportunity. Isn't going to find anybody. That's huge for St. Clair potentially to get that ult off the board early.
Well, it's still going to be up, but at least the dash is burned. Still a lot of time, though, for these knives that can potentially hit later on in the round, but the switch for now seems like Cumberland a little bit unsure of really where to go. They've kind of split take here, but that clock is going down, and you still have KJ utility that you need to work through. So 45 left on the board, and Cumberland needs to make a move and quick.
Yeah, they definitely need to. I mean, you're sort of waiting around here. I think they have decided they want to go through B as Snarly making his way over with Jet.
30 seconds left.
But you just give JP and St. Clair just more time to set up this defense, because St. Clair now has to know where they're coming from. Atlas just completely whiffing on Tillo.
They gotta move
does
fast,
find one. 16 seconds left to go. JP just farming Cumberland right now. That's the spike carrier down. And JP with 4, a quad feed for him. Just absolutely wheeling and dealing right now for St. Clair. They are just on fire.
JP, huge for the ult there on KJ. Not a whole lot of time left to go, and because of that, Cumberland, they need to push the tempo, because if they do not get rid of this lockdown, then they're all going to be stunned out. Because of that, their numbers had to thin out, and they all were left for none other than JP, the ex-Cumberland player, looking very smooth, very composed, very good in that St. Clair jersey. Is now timeout active, 30 seconds left to go. Cumberland got to burn him, because JP and company over on St. Clair, they have been looking good, taking 5 rounds in a row. Hasn't really even gotten close. I was going to say, they got dicey. JP had that lockdown ready to go, but it was just the perfect scenario, right? A late rotate. When the element of time is not on your side, the last thing you want to see as an attacker is, oh, okay, now there's just a KJ ult down on literally all of us.
Yeah, just, you know, what can you do in that situation? And I mean, as we take a quick look at the scoreboard there, JP, 12-4 in this first half. You think he's fired up? I think he is. I mean, you have to be after that last quad. I mean, he's really been leading the way for the Saints so far. And, you know, leading the way for Cumberland, you know, it's just not working at all. Nobody on Cumberland has been able to really step up and make the big impact play that they've needed. I mean, Saints have just been able to rattle off like 5 rounds in a row. Cumberland looking lost and confused here. See if that timeout is able to help them. Did assist them a little bit on Lotus. See if something similar happens here.
Yeah, I mean, good for Seth, just kind of slowed down the tempo. This is just so rage bait right now. Cumberland, they really wanted to just walk up catwalk and immediately take tree. Seth's like, nope, here's a sage wall, and then here's a slow, and then here's another slow. So now you just got to reposition, and they've chosen, they've elected to go market side, but Tillo knows about this. The swing comes through. Tillo finds 2 while blind. Huge there for St. Clair, as not only are the positions of Cumberland known, the man advantage needs to be worked on. Is Semic able to do just that? And as the tides are shifting, It's all going in St. Clair's favor.
Man, nothing is going right for Sevic this game. Not sure how he missed Instinct there, but St. Clair is going to take it. As now St. Clair reestablishes their man advantage. Atlas carrying the spike, just
This glass breaks.
30 seconds left.
exactly, you know, between a rock and a hard place. 25 seconds left to go. Oh, he does find Instinct through the glass though, but his position does get revealed. As now St. Clair, JP just having to wait it out as Atlas tries to get this plant down. There are two members though. JP doesn't know who to shoot and does get spotted out from Atlas. All up to Taiga.
Huge for Cumberland.
Huge for Cumberland there. Taiga not able to be the hero this time. JP just getting caught out there. Yeah, two options and he chose neither.
Yeah, again, it's unfortunate, but you have to sit here and praise Cumberland for getting back in a round that they had no business winning there. Beautifully done here from Atlas, making the best of his positions. As you said, stuck between a rock and a hard place. Second the glass breaks, they're going to know where he is. He still gets a pick on it nonetheless. Really well and good of him to have discipline. The tree push comes in as well. Seth's a little bit too late on the refrag on the player on Heaven. Jumps back down, and the Omen smoked as well to block out the sight line. So Cumberland make good of their timeout as they bag their third round, something that was not looking all that favorable to them.
No, you're right. Like, really, that should have been St. Clair's win. I mean, especially with the start that Tillo had there. But like I said, just things not falling the way of St. Clair, unfortunately. But that's okay. You move on. It's just one round. You still have a little bit of an advantage here. You're still playing really well. If you can just keep Cumberland off their game and just keep your defense as tight and as strong as it's been, you just have to wait them out and just, like I said, just win your ones, don't overextend, and you should be fine. Not a good start there, though.
No charges left.
I mean, a good refrag is Seth and Instinct are able to get on the board, but JP's been taken out because of that B-side. He's literally all bearing. But Instinct, showing that market can still be contested, finds one, switches over to the Classic. The blind shots, though, from Snarly are going to go down. But in a 1v2 scenario, Isaac might have done just enough to get St. Clair over the line.
No, just enough. I mean, he was so close, but switching to the Classic just didn't work for him there. Snarly's so lucky those shots were able to go through while he's blind. Taiga now and Sev.
Just got to play off contact
Just play off contact. Just try and set up that crossfire. Snarly is only so few positions where he can actually be set up here, and you have to think that Seth and Taiga are aware of this, as now Snarly's position gets taken over by Taiga, once again playing the hero. Saints reestablish that lead after dropping that last one. Great response.
And I mean, that was huge. JP goes down, and I thought that that B-side was all completely free real estate, but Instinct sitting in market. The Saints hero, I mean, look at that, just taking out the 180 and able to get the Omen low as well, so it was an easy cleanup for Taiga there. Well done from St. Clair. They are up by 3 in 6 rounds on an Ascent defense. At least they've got halfway over the gap. Now they just need to take that 7th round, and all of a sudden a 7-5 on Ascent defense, you know, it could be better, but at the same time, not horrible, switching over to an offensive side that we know St. Clair loves to play on any map.
And again, the script just so similar to what we saw on Lotus. I mean, the scoreline might even be the same. And that's something we saw in the last one as well, was Instinct finding that opening pick. Snarly, once again, falling. I mean, Cumberland just hasn't been able to win these opening picks that often. That's something St. Clair has done so well on both maps so far in this series. Instinct with another one.
Just headshot galore.
Just headshot galore. Instinct keeping it going. Does get traded out from Atlas as he has to retreat as he's on 13 HP now. See how they respond. But Cumberland, you have to feel like they're on the ropes here, and St. Clair is going to try and push it. At least Seb is going to try and push it, and he is rewarded. Can he find the last one?
Find it
to end the round. He does find it. Atlas going down. Sev, coach, putting in the work, securing another round for the Saints.
Hey, and they are locked in. Potentially some colorful phrases being said there on stages. That's what you got to do. Chris Funston, the man has said it many times himself. Lock the heck in. I'll say it for stream purposes, but
thank you.
Very well done there from St. Clair, as they indeed are locked. 7-3 in Cumberland. barring, this is already with them burning a timeout, mind you.
Revealing area.
Clearly didn't help though. I mean, St. Clair, you know, it takes advantage of that timeout as well. But the momentum clearly not being lost, as now Cumberland trying to take this mid hit. Atlas trying to find anything he can use, but Tillo ready with the counter ult. He does know they're from mid. Atlas does find the opening pick. However, that ult from Tillo not doing much, is now Cumberland with some fire, but St. Clair, once you think Cumberland has an advantage, St. Clair finds a response. They will not let Cumberland have any sort of a man advantage. They are just so locked in. Like you said, the talent is just off the charts right now.
Instinct has absolutely no right to be alive or get that kill there. At the end of the day, you just gotta hit your shots, kid. And that's something that Cumberland are just not able to do. The blind goes through, and all of a sudden Tillo will have that blind thrown right back in his face.
Last player standing.
They go blind for blind, and all of a sudden Atlas ripping apart the remnants of St. Clair.
30
Sure,
seconds left.
Isaac able to get a pick onto
Spike
market that he
planted.
probably should have had no business receiving, but at the end of the day, that's one man. You still have 3 more to deal with, and on 7 HP, we're able to get rid of 1. But again, I think Cumberland can just play off of contact here. There shouldn't really be any world where Instinct finds this 1v2, but if he does, you gotta assume we gotta go crazy. It's not gonna happen. Well played out there from Cumberland. Good discipline as Snarly takes the gunfight. And I mean, yeah, on 7 health, it doesn't really matter. Play off of contact. You can even afford to potato a couple of shots. You're still going to get the man down.
You might have been able to steal one there, but I think that might have been a little bit of a desk pop from Instinct. I don't know if he maybe heard something and that maybe caught his attention, but I think that that little bit of a desk pop there just gave Cumberland all the intel they needed to finish that round. Bit unfortunate. Instinct still able to do some damage to Cumberland. Rapidly approaching the final round. We're here in the final round before the half switch. See if we do end up with a 7-5 scoreline. I mean, like, you know, the script writer is just going crazy with this continuity. Here, we'll see if St. Clair is able to add one before they swap over to attack. Big one for Cumberland, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely massive because an 8-4 would be huge for St. Clair. A 7-5, and this isn't over yet. Cumberland are still in a great position, getting 5 attacking rounds and a half on attacking Ascent. I get it, St. Clair, they usually have better attacks than their defense, but the map is just so much more in favor for that side. Enzo, a huge first pick. And it seems like they are 1/5 of the way to establishing that dominance, that you can have that 5th attacking round.
Yeah, still need more to go. I really want to see JP get rolling here. We need to get him online again. He was sort of the playmaker. Of course, as soon as I call him out, he does fall to Atlas.
Yeah.
Finds him on the map. Snarly finding Till as well. Spike going to be going down onto B. Going to be a really tough retake for Taiga and Seth. But we've seen they've had the ability to do it before, but
Opponent killed.
let them cook a little bit. Seth finding Atlas.
His position is known, though, so they will be holding him very easily from market side. Tiger from the spawn lets those shots go through, and they know where he is as well. That's going to be Seth down, and just like that, then all the guns switch over like a pack of dogs looking at a squirrel, straight on to Taiga, as they are going to be able to find the 7-5 half. And Cumberland, in my opinion, they sure may be down in round count, but by no means are they out in any stance.
No, definitely not. I mean, like I said, there still is a whole other half to play. We'll see what Cumberland's defense looks like on Ascent. You know, the Saints might be feeling a little bit more comfortable on the attacker side, but again, it really comes down to how this one starts. Can you gain this momentum early? And it all starts with the pistol round. Cumberland just completely dominated the first pistol round on Ascent. We'll see if the Saints can match that energy and find one, because stealing a round here, like you said, going up 8-5, potentially 9-5, you can win the pistol and potentially the next one after, would be great for St. Clair, but Instinct falling early. Once again, Cumberland with a hot start in the pistol round. St. Clair needs to respond quickly.
They do an Enzo with that Sheriff, should be able to seize one and will be able to land the shots required to find the kill. Even one through the wall in the smoke. Tillo not in a great place here. St. Clair, this could be massive for Cumberland, right?
One
you get this
enemy
round, all of a
remaining.
sudden you're looking at a pistol conversion. You could just immediately have your 7-7, and it's not like the half has really even begun. And just like that, St. Clair's round advantage gone in a flash. But this is reading into the future quite a bit.
Scanning ahead.
So, not over yet, but I just do not see any world where Tillo can make this 1v3 happen. If he does, it's absolutely insane, but Cumberland should just push together, make Tillo get uncomfortable here with the Sheriff, and yeah, the pick damage comes through, 21 health now. There's almost no shot against this, exactly. This one comes through, Atlas able to find the cleanup, and now Cumberland can look to see if they can make do on their conversion.
Which, you know, might happen here, but as long as the boys can just continue to stay focused and not let that get to you, because like you said, there's still a lot of game left to go. Even if you lose that round advantage potentially, you know, you still have the ability to, you know, get some damage in here. If you can at least get a pick early, if Instinct can find something, steal a rifle, maybe build some momentum, you might be able to steal this one away from Cumberland to avoid that potential tie. That would be a huge swing in the momentum as well. That would, I think, would really bring St. Clair back into a position they'd like to be in. But it all comes down to where this hit comes from, is aggressively pushing through, but Enzo and Semic just putting in work right now. Just not much St. Clair can do when it's pistols v rifles. Tillo, though, odd man out again. Does find one, but some pick damage going through. They know where he is. It's only a matter of time before Cumberland ties this one back up.
Right, I mean, immediately it's a huge start to the half for Cumberland, and you know, at least Tillo making it a little more expensive on them, able to find another. But that being said, not that Cumberland really care all that much. They have the round, that's all they care about. They have the immediate erase of any St. Clair round advantage, and well done by Semic with that Guardian, making true on his shots. Is now all of a sudden, I'm not saying it's panic stations for St. Clair. I mean, let's just relax, the half just got started. But I think me and you are right in maybe predicting that this one could be going to a map 3.
That's definitely the way it's looking right now. I mean, Cumberland is, you know, they had a really rough start, but they've sort of brought that back. I mean, your stars have been coming out, but, you know, the St. Clair side just looking a little discombobulated in a lot of places. The Cumberland defense has been super stout so far, and that's been the story. Semic being traded out by Instinct, but
what a shot.
What a shot as well, but that one does fall the way of St. Clair. Has to be feeling good. I mean, Cumberland finds the picks they wanted, but St. Clair just able to outlast them.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge round, right? If Cumberland win that, I could see that being the start of a spiral.
Absolutely.
For St. Clair, and maybe we'd have map 3 with Cumberland on quite the heater of momentum. Now that 8th round going to St. Clair is absolutely massive. It denies Cumberland the bonus, and also gets St. Clair into a little more of a comfortable mindset, just being like, okay, the rush is over. Let's just calm down the pacing a little bit. Get these guys back on their heels. You know, Isaac trying to see if he can make his way through A site in St. Clair. They're just chucking util for A.
Well, I like this call here. Clearly the B hit's not working. Oh, that's huge for St. Clair. Instinct adding on to Tillo's ult, but I was just gonna say how I really like this call of an A hit, because B clearly locked down and owned by Cumberland. This is a good chance for St. Clair to wrestle this momentum back. Spike does go down from Seth. Semic up in heaven with Atlas, but Atlas and Semic are going to fall. It doesn't matter where they are. St. Clair will find you.
And you know what? Instinct just chilling in hell. He's just able with that Vandal to just spray the floor right. They can't advance. You got the KJ turret that can just immediately alarm them. You have people watching the cross, and you got Instinct spraying it from the floor. A huge Hunter's Fury there from Tillo. He has been a man on a mission. Dropping 24 and 11 last time, immediately has reestablished his 20-kill game again.
21-12.
Man is simply on fire tonight, and a huge relief for St. Clair to have a gunner like him in their back pocket.
At 21-12 for Tillo. Shout out to all the Rush fans out there who might understand that reference. If you know, you know. But still a lot of work to be done on St. Clair's side. Definitely not over yet. You know, we talked about just how Cumberland's been able to respond in times of crisis. See if they have anything left in the tank here. St. Clair pushing to get to the end of Ascent. They'd be happy to end this one with a 2-0 series win. But look at Semic just creeping through. Misses the shot on Tillo. His position does get revealed, but he also finds the position of St. Clair. Taiga, though, finds that opening pick that St. Clair wanted.
Absolutely, and as the head of the Cypher gets exposed, he has to just backpedal here as he needs to just give away that market control. That Sage Wall. Closing out everything. Seth is going to walk into an unsuspecting angle, but Enzo did not get the job done. Atlas able to take one back, but it all should just be players swinging with each other, and his instinct crosses over to spawn side. He says it's our game. As right now, St. Clair looking poised and in control. I'm telling you, that was the turning point. That 15th round, getting that 8-7, massive. If that goes the other way, I'm telling you, this score is completely flipped.
I would absolutely have to agree, and it really comes down to that double that Till was able to secure with that Hunter's Fury. That was sort of the catalyst for that offensive explosion.
Onto A.
That's absolutely, and now St. Clair has been playing with fire as Zeka now. This is the first time we've seen an op on the field so far. I'm honestly surprised that JP hasn't pulled it out. I mean, you know he's been feeling confident. Not going to match energy with Zeka. That first shot doesn't go through, but some intel learned for Cumberland. Saints taking this A hit once again. Atlas opening up with 2 and 3.
Massive
Atlas! Whoa, okay. All right, Atlas, okay. Sorry, we were trash talking Cumberland a little bit. Just in the perfect spot with that Phantom. Not much JP can do to really salvage this one in a 1v5. Oh, okay, all right. He wanted that one back badly, clearly. Okay, all right. All right, JP, okay. Just a little bit extra BM here. At least he got Atlas, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear this one's over.
Oh, wait a minute.
Whoa, wait, I was going to say that, but hold on. 13, okay, I was going to say the double stack. Not able to work out, but JP, you know, proving us wrong, knowing that the round truly isn't over until his body hits the floor. But, oh, man, I mean, we got to talk about this quad from Atlas here. Just beautiful. Unfortunate. I'm going to say it right now. Seth was definitely on the least fortunate end of that one, as that's probably a kill that he really should have had. But when Atlas is on, the man can go absolutely stupid. Cutting down 4 right there, and good attempt to claw things back from JP, but you just play the double stack for Cumberland even after he finds the next 2. And now St. Clair switching up their route. They're going for a fast-paced A take as they have the KJ ult down. Hunter's Fury on the opposite side getting burned out, but it's not finding a damn thing as Instinct on the Yorwall is able to walk in. But hold on, Cumberland, they all of a sudden have made well of the trading game, and with that lockdown burned, JP probably sits in the biggest position, and now that he's gone, this is going to be huge. Instinct getting rezzed out by Seth. And a 3v3 all of a sudden, St. Clair, they might be able to do good here, as now Enzo able to come through. It's huge as well, being able to use the transfer, the fade, to see the areas that St. Clair are currently occupied in. And if you see there's nothing there, choose your spots on where they are going to be. They do that perfectly here in Cumberland. And now, 2 rounds on the bounce, feeling good. 10-9, and this one is far from over.
No, far from over, but you really have to be careful again, because now Cumberland is starting to build that momentum again. That Atlas 4K had to have lit a fire, you know, under their seats there to get them back into it. I mean, that really was the round that St. Clair needed to win in that situation. That so unfortunate that you weren't able to secure that one. Is a bit of a switch up with the Rifles. Instinct taking the op in this situation. I want to see him get a quick pick in mid, at least give some intel. Hopefully St. Clair can secure this round here, because Cumberland is really making it close. And you have to think, if Cumberland gets this one back, it's going to be looking really, really hairy for St. Clair. I don't know if they can bring it back if Cumberland tries to get back in it.
Right, I mean, things might get ropey here, but now, Till, unfortunately, you have the usual. Gonna be able to find the first one. I was a little bit worried that St. Clair, they might start to push the pace a little bit too much in this round. Might be really, really getting impatient to just get back into the swing of things. Now Instinct moving it with Tiger, trying to see if they can find anything onto the Heaven player.
Here.
But Snarly is just saying so composed.
Here.
And it really is tough. Look at the cross as well that's being held from Tree from Zeka.
Here.
This is something that's going to be
No charges left.
impossible for St. Clair to walk onto this A side. Instinct able to find one, but there's still 4 remaining, and with the time winding down, 30 seconds left to go.
30 seconds left.
Seth's not even near the A bomb site, and there's still a whole lot of Cypher util you have to burn, so potentially could just be looking for a save this time, as St. Clair know they're just stuck and there's nowhere to run.
Yeah, I don't see a path to victory here. I mean, like you said, you're set up for failure
10
on
seconds
either
left.
site with that crossfire. Like Instinct at least able to clear out Heaven, but with Taiga falling as well, you lose your chance for a potential refrag.
Might want to take a timeout here as well.
I would, yeah, absolutely. I was going to say the same thing here. Perfect time for a timeout as Cumberland has clawed their way back into it. Boys of St. Clair still don't look deterred. Just trying to stay focused now. Comms going through. Tillo trying to rally the team, trying to get a play set up here. Huge round coming up here, as I don't want to say it right now, but I feel like whoever wins this round, I think it's gonna take this whole map, and we are indeed in a timeout for St. Clair, just for confirmation. But this round, everything hinges on this one coming up.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree with you, and I mean, at the very least, you know, you're able to save 3 rifles as St. Clair discuss things over. Believe they're finally over on their time out, as this one almost wrapping up. 10 seconds left to go, but fist bumps all around. I think St. Clair have what they want in terms of their minute to talk. And from here on out, this is a huge deciding factor, as
It's a crazy angle.
a beautiful angle from only the best observers here.
Only the best. But no, like you said, this all really hinges on this round here. I'd like to see. I don't even know like if we want to see a super aggressive play, as we get a bit of a half buy from the Saints. Till and Taiga electing to go with the Sheriff. Give the op in Instinct's hands again. He was able to find a pick in the last round. See if he's able to match in this one. That smoke skewering mid, but the rest of the Saints trying to get that control. They are going to get it
Really fast.
really fast. Cumberland's going to let them take mid, but if you're Cumberland, you just, set up a similar defense to the way you had last time, because St. Clair had no answers for it.
Yeah, I mean,
That's tough.
huge on the clone, but that's a massive pick there for Snarly. That is an op down. And all of a sudden, St. Clair getting into a scary situation. They force their way through market, but kills need to come through. The longer you sit here, the more it is going to
Last player
bolster
standing.
Cumberland's
Spike
defense.
down,
As
B.
now, all down to JP, and he's not going to be able to do a damn thing. Blinded out by the Omen. A huge round for Cumberland, and we could very well be seeing the start of what is going to be a 3-map series here, as we called on the desk, Evan.
No, yeah, St. Clair, just like you said, there are no answers. I mean, Instinct just getting picked out right at the start. I mean, like, what else can you really say about that?
But I mean, give him credit. Like, that's a
True,
huge,
no,
really well done so far. I am so impressed with Cumberland so far.
Let's go.
Defensively, they've stepped up to the task at hand, and they really have delivered a damn fine delicacy here.
Cover going out.
Line it out early. The smoke, like it's going to be Instinct's clone that's going to be shot out. And they do have positions here. The first pick goes down, but that's JP down for the count. Man is going to be traded out, and Snarly is just getting away with way too much. Finds 3. Atlas with the trade. Instinct finds 1, and they are going to re-chal him. At 89 health, it's only going to take 3 shots. Vandal put the man down.
One enemy remaining.
A nice pick there, and no way does he find the heaven play, though. Can't locate the head. Really, really close there from Instinct. But at the same time, Cumberland, they now move onto 1 round or 2 rounds the difference. Move up 1 round, and they move now 2 rounds the difference between a map 3 or being potentially sent home early. But I do not see that happening. As St. Clair, they just look, or sorry, it was match point, my bad. St. Clair, they do look a little bit lost. I have to say so myself. What is that? 5 rounds now unanswered for Cumberland.
Yeah, just no.
They don't, like,
no
St. Clair are
answers.
just completely lost.
And you can tell Instinct just not feeling good at all after that one. I mean, he was in a good spot, had the ability to do it. We know he has the ability to make those plays, but just unfortunately coming up a little bit short. Heroic effort, though, but you know, you still have time. We have seen stranger things happen. You could force an overtime here if you can maybe get overtime to go your way. If you can start on the defense, you know, that has been the better side for St. Clair in this one. Might have a shot. Seth with a good start for the round here. Instinct,
Oh,
there you
huge.
go. There you go, young man. Getting another one. So now the Saints in the
Last
post
player
plant, and that's
Instinct
a good
with
start.
2.
Instinct with a second for the round. It's all up to Semic, but he's not gonna push through that smoke. Still up in heaven, but with 4 Saints on the site and that Sage Wall to contest through, Saints going to survive, live another day. One more opportunity to potentially force this one to OT. Now is the time, like you said, last potential round, match point. You really got to step up here.
Man, a decent play from St. Clair there, right? Instinct popping the URL, and he is giving comms, giving intel to Tillo, who pops his Hunter's Fury, right? So he knows where to find the players. He knows where to make them disperse. St. Clair then through that alt combo, crash site, and they do a damn good job of that. Instinct not able to be moved in that hell position, finding yet another 2 bonus picks there. But still, Cumberland, they have an opportunity to close this one out. St. Clair, they got to make well on this push, and they're not electing to waste any time. Seth, preparing for a B main Sage Wall here so he can just find a cheeky little bit of an angle onto Semic. The slow goes down, and JP, a huge first pick, can have this market control. St. Clair, huge if you can force overtime here. But the plays need to be made, and right now Enzo and Snarly have gotten themselves right back into prime position. Semic chucks out the ult. Seth's position is known, and there's no way he can fight off 3 players here. Has the blind. The shots are going to come through, and they do not have a chance. Beautifully done there by Cumberland. They find the revenge. They find map 2, and we have ourselves going straight on down to Haven.
I mean, you might call us a bit prophetic, I think. I mean, this is sort of what we've been teeing up the entire time here, but, you know, great effort, valiant effort, I think, in that last one there. It looked like the Saints had an advantageous position. If Seth is able to find a pick on top of the Sage Wall in that little spot there, I think maybe that round goes a little bit differently if the Cypher is out of the equation, but just not able to happen there. And, you know, you got to give credit to Cumberland as well for making those big plays. Atlas, in particular, had a really, really solid game. He was just doing everything for Cumberland there. So give credit where credit is due, but not out of it yet, obviously. Saints have a chance to, take this one on Haven, but Cumberland looked a lot sharper in this one. I really think they had a nice mental reset after what happened on Lotus, so we'll see if they can carry that momentum into the next one. But for St. Clair, it's the same thing, like same thing that Cumberland went through. Just brush this one off, just have that mental reset. You have some time in between maps, so just come back fresh and just play your best game of Valorant in this map coming up now.
Yeah, I mean, again, St. Clair, I could see this happening. We called it out earlier. Cumberland, great mental reset, as you said, fight back. They get Ascent straight down to business, and now we move on to Haven, a map that St. Clair are actually very good on. We just saw them take a win against West Virginia University in Division 1, for those of you who are following along with that. Again, it's almost like, who would have figured? St. Clair, a really good attacking team? A 3-site map. going to favor them more than likely. But really well done there from Cumberland, and you have to praise them, right? Huge, monumental rounds being found out, right? St. Clair, they take that 15th round, and we thought from there, as we saw the spiral, that was what St. Clair needed. Cumberland, they're able to plug the leaks before their boat capsizes, and they're able to force a map 3. Well done there by Cumberland. They deserve all the credit, and now going on to Haven, it's going to be very interesting to see what they have in store.
No, I think, it's going to be a really exciting map 3. I mean, the series so far has been so back and forth. Lotus was a little bit one-sided for St. Clair, but there was a moment in time where we thought that Cumberland was able to make a little bit of a comeback. Ascent, I should say, was really back and forth. I mean, that one could have gone anybody's way.
That would have went either way, yeah.
It really, could have gone either way. I think there were some moments there, especially after that 15th round, that could have fallen the way of St. Clair if, some picks don't come through, or if an off pick comes, we might be, speaking a little bit differently about the potential ends of the series.
I mean, different
but again,
right?
it's all hearsay. It's all like, this or that. Hindsight is 20/20, they say.
Yes.
Right. So it's easy for us to critique on this side, especially after we've seen what has happened. But it's all about the response. That's the biggest thing for St. Clair, and we're gonna get a look at the stats here of this game. Cumberland able to come out, but a really, really tight 13-11-1. A lot of big numbers on both sides here, but for Cumberland, it was Atlas who was leading the way.
Right, I mean, Atlas and Tillo for both sides, really a tale of just two Sovas at their finest. As ACS of 324, Atlas lighting things up. Enzo just right below him, 21-18. Snarly as well made some huge, massive plays as that Omen. And Semic had that insane 4K as well on B main. No one's going to forget that as the Cypher. So really well done there from Cumberland. St. Clair, they made it a close nail-biter, but at the same time, sometimes you can't decide things in 2-0 fashion. 1-1, as we're going to be heading to Haven, a map that St. Clair have done so good in the past. Going to be interesting to see what Cumberland have mustered up for that one, but just a look at the MVP stats. Goated, yes, I'd be willing to say that after I just saw this performance here, as 26 picks go down for Atlas. The man was simply on a mission and guided by his duelist to get him intel, as he was able to do so as well as that initiator. He was able to get the job done. But Cumberland, they force map 3. It's now or never for St. Clair. Who's going to win NACE Week 2 of the Super Conference? We will find out after a short break.
Start a new life in a new kind of life, where the water's never murky and the sky is clear. We slept with our heads together, we had the same dream. New town in the window of a train, going 85 under a street light. Empty freeway in the middle of the night. I'll let you DJ, be the seat back, get cars like that. It gets cold when we run. Pray for an early sun. Timeless and patience in the light. We dance together all night. We slept with our heads together. We had the same dream. A new town in the window of a tree. Going 85 under the street lights. Empty freeway in the middle of the night. I'll let you DJ. Lean the seat back even though you get car sick like that. Don't know what to do, how to do it. Know that I should leave, but I hate it. Know that you're not the right one. If you were falling, will you fall with me? If I was calling, will you answer me? The timing was off, but would you wait for me? Would you wait for me? Would you wait for me? If you were falling, will you fall with me? If I was calling, will you answer me? The timing was off, but would you wait for me? 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 I've been thinking about you. How your voice shakes when you're lying. Make everything
Ladies
about
and gentlemen,
you.
welcome back. The time has come. It's map 3. All comes down to this. An intense matchup between Cumberland and St. Clair so far. And Smoke, I really have to say, I've really been enjoying the series. I kind of don't want it to end, but it has to. Somebody has to be crowned the victor. Who do you think it's going to be?
Well, man, I got to roll with my guys at St. Clair, but I'd have it no other way, right? I mean, just an absolute barn burner between these two teams here. And honestly, the result that, again, we've got to give ourselves credit here. We called it going to 3. We saw
Like I
that
said, prophetic,
happening.
man.
You know what? Our studying paid off. It was all the studying we did with the maps and everything, and, it all came through in fruition. So, pat yourself on the back there. Evan Zion, Patrick Smoke Chambers, and we are joined for our final map here of Haven. St. Clair, really good pass record on this map. They usually always show up and show out on maps with 3 sites as they are such a predominantly attacking-sided team. This time, though, Cumberland have forced them into giving up momentum. They have all the leads in this race, and right now, they have a jump start as well, coming off of a hot win in a very close map of Ascent, and that's got to be a huge mental hurdle that they've gotten over, and now they're probably feeling pretty damn good about themselves.
No, you would think so. Like, it was a really gutsy win, I'd say. I mean,
Yeah.
St. Clair was really running the table, especially on the start of their attacker side. Cumberland just able to claw back in, win it round by round, and slowly but surely, they found the momentum they needed to find the victory. And, you know, like, if you're on the St. Clair side, you know, you can look at that and be like, okay, like, if they're able to do that, we can also tap into that momentum and find something to work for ourselves. I mean, just tap right back into JP. You know, we still got to be feeling emotional. You know, this is the moment where, you know, big plays are made when your backs are against the wall. Pressure always makes the best of anything, really, quite frankly.
Pressure makes diamonds,
It's
Evan.
true. That is what they say, or so I'm told. So we'll see if the Saints can handle the pressure that Cumberland has been putting on them so far. Because Cumberland, like, very, very cold to start Lotus, started to wake up a little bit, started to be wise to St. Clair's tactics. Let's see if St. Clair can maybe throw a wrench into that and figure something out. Maybe surprise them a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely, as we're going to be getting on to Agent Select here as everything gets started. Seeing that it's Haven, wasn't going to be surprised. I was going to call out that there's probably going to be an ISO here just because we all know how the ISO operates down C long. Very huge for St. Clair to also have the Viper. Nice pick there as well, because if you have a Viper's Pit, you can potentially counter that C-long push. That being said, you also can get to split that down the middle. So we'll see what it all comes down to. But first, before we get into the nitty-gritty, it is all started on the pistols. All fair in love and war. And now, Cumberland and St. Clair, they are here to do battle as Cumberland just absolutely sending it up A main to start A long.
Yeah, this is a really important round. I mean, any round in map 3 is important, but when you look at how dominant,
Sight's free.
when you look at how dominant that Cumberland was on the pistol, and you know you're just letting Cumberland just take a site for free. Essentially, we saw how strong Cumberland was in the pistol rounds on Ascent.
Planted.
You know, good start for St. Clair, but still a lot of work to be done as that spike gets planted. Got to go quickly. Got to commit to something. Instinct looking for more, but Snarly is there to shut him down. Another good start for Cumberland, but JP with a quick response.
They've got to move in fast, though. Time is no longer an element that you can rely on. Enzo going to be able to get JP or tag Taiga before JP cleans him out. And now, Seth
One enemy remaining.
able to get taken down as JP's on 3 right now. Give him the quad as well. The man's on fire. Pop off early, son, as you've given yourself 4 and given St. Clair the first in this map 3.
And how important is that? Not just winning the pistol round, but getting JP fired up once again. We
Huge.
saw what he was able to do
Huge.
once he gets fired up. I really want to see him get more emotional, rally the team around him. Just let's get these rounds done quickly, and let's just run the table now and really give Cumberland the business now.
Well, if Cumberland are going to ask for a quick and decisive fight, St. Clair are more than happy to give that to them, right? I mean, I thought it was really good the way Cumberland just exploded onto the site, but their hold was a little, you know, gappy, if you will, to say the
new
least. Yeah, and not the greatest. Yeah, I can't lie, but
I know what you meant, don't worry.
from here on out, it was filled with holes, and St. Clair, they were able to exploit. As now the blind goes through, Enzo making his way in, has a little bit of some information. The double tap goes in and keeps him alive, and now Atlas and Zeka able to make true on these fast takes.
Spike
I did say
planted.
it before, if you're looking for a quick and decisive battle, St. Clair, they're all for it, but this time, Cumberland, they have a big man advantage, and barring them throwing any more bodies to Instinct on an Outlaw, they should be able to hold this one off. But Seth, showing that the rifles can sometimes be a little more, finding one as 3-3 apiece. The rush comes through. Snarly, Semic, and able to find the second, denying St. Clair their conversion. Absolutely massive for Cumberland as they take a 1-1 and the first in the night that we've seen a team throw their conversion.
Well, this is exactly what we expected from this series. We knew it was going to be tough for either side, but, you know, I think it comes down to, like, the moment there where Taiga and JP just caught sleeping there. JP swinging on the wrong side, just nothing you can do there. Just a free pick, essentially, for Cumberland. But, you know, St. Clair failing to convert, but still so early. We'll see what they decide to do, Cumberland rather, on attack. We'll see if they decide to hit A again, or if they got something else planned. Snarly, though, is going to find Taiga through the poison, and Semek adding another one with Tillo, another early advantage for Cumberland.
A really nice B take as well. They've gotten themselves completely stuck in here. 11 bullets, and Seth is going to have to drift back, but they all know his position now. Instinct. Beauty of a one-tap, but at the same time, that alone is not going to win you this round. This retake going to be so hard as Cumberland look to slowly but surely, barring a throw, work themselves
Not ready yet.
to 1 as Enzo going to get rid of that cross pressure, and now it's all but over. JP and Seth, they're probably not even going to elect to swing into this, yeah. Just trying to keep their weapons and probably just look for a save here as that counter pressure taken off. Keep the funds and maybe make the round a little more expensive for Cumberland, as that's good from JP to find Atlas, but Enzo trades it back out. Seth just trying to keep himself alive, and he will make do on that notion. So everyone passes like ships in the night, but Cumberland have taken the round advantage and a beautiful cleanup off of the conversion that they were able to thwart from St. Clair.
Yeah, Sev just able to get out of the blast radius of the spike there. Able to save a Guardian as well. JP was in another good situation to save a rifle, but just not able to. That trade comes through much too quickly here. Finds Atlas, but then gets traded out immediately. But St. Clair gets something for their troubles here. Definitely not out of it yet. Still have an opportunity to make a play, but like we said, you give Cumberland enough time to cook and really start to get these rounds, like these early rounds. And again, that's another early pick going their way. I mean, Cumberland could just build up this momentum and their economy to really put St. Clair in a tough spot. And with all the map 3 pressure, you would think that momentum and that emotional stakes just doing extra work for Cumberland. And so far, it's been paying off for them.
Right, I mean, Evan, they didn't even have to burn an ISO wall to walk up C long. It was really well done there by the 2 Omen smokes, just getting them in and on often. The double tap instinct is going to be able to find one. Double tap gone, and actually it's going to be Tillo to find another. JP.
The Odin
can make some huge things work here. He's going to hop on the defuse, and they're going to have to walk into the line of sight. At least getting it halved is massive, but Tillo's going to go down. And all of a sudden, JP, he has to take the swing, and he's not going to find a damn thing. Peeking a long angle against an outlaw. Good luck, brother. It's not going to happen. Cumberland opening up this map. Very strong. 3-1. And now, to me, as we see long, straight faces across the side of St. Clair, this is where we get into potential mental spiral. Tillo, head in his hands. As this is something I've commented on before, Evan. Sometimes the St. Clair team, they dig themselves into their own graves sometimes. They get into their own heads. They start talking in the server, and it's not positive words that are being thrown out. Not necessarily them saying they're blasting their teammates, but they just get in them, into their own heads, and sometimes it can lead to some mental spirals, and round after round, you see it collapsing. Cumberland, it's all working out for them, though. 3-1, and they try to make their way down A long.
I believe we have a word for that in the gamer sphere. Tilted,
you and me.
I believe, is the word. And you just can't afford to fall for that in such a big moment here. I mean, you have to be better than that, especially when you're in these big moments and playing these big teams. You just have to stay composed mentally. It just doesn't help anybody if one member of your team is just emotionally unavailable when you need them most. And right now, St. Clair needs something. I don't know if you would just burn a timeout early to just try and get the team to take a breath, because right now Cumberland is just absolutely dog-walking you in all aspects. I mean, Till and Seth trying to save it, but Spike already down Snarly on the crossfire, and Tillo at barely any HP, and that's just too easy for Cumberland at that point.
Yeah, absolutely, but give credit to Cumberland. They're looking really good, and, you know, granted, yes, it is Haven attack, but at the same time, sometimes that doesn't have to matter, because if you just ramp up enough round wins and break St. Clair's mental, it doesn't matter when you swap sides. If you can just win the game off of momentum purely alone, I mean, look, St. Clair, they're just kind of stuck. It doesn't really look like they know how to defend, especially this A site more or less. You can't rely on JP to always hit a quad with on a pistol round, right?
Jesus, man, perfect placement. JP getting spotted out with the arrow. Does manage to find at least 2, though. JP
Huge.
retreats. Oh, I really didn't think that was going to benefit JP. I mean, getting spotted out just in the perfect position, but...
Man, and they have the spike C-long as well.
No, absolutely. As Enzo typed in the wrong chat there. We did see that, unfortunately, but that's okay. Atlas, though, still on C-long, recovering the spike, but with Seth and JP still lurking, it's going to be tough for Cumberland. This is a really good opportunity for St. Clair to get something going, but...
Ooh, and they know where Seth is.
Absolutely, yeah, I was going to say it. Now that JP falls, that's your big rifler down on C. The rest of the Saints team having to rotate in, try and stop a potential pick. You do spot out Semek, and that is going to be Taiga who finishes it off, but Atlas finding 2. Doesn't matter, though, as Taiga plays the hero. The bleeding has stopped momentarily. St. Clair adds a much-needed second round. This is the time to start the comeback.
Right, absolutely, but I mean, to start a comeback, you need to find rounds in bundles. In St. Clair now, you've gotten 1 on the board, but more work to be done. Would be huge on Haven, I will say, if you could build up a 3-4 or a 4-4 in your first 8 rounds. You don't obviously want to have Cumberland building up to around an 8-4 themselves, because then, like I said before, you could just be mentally out of it. Instinct choosing to ult, and look at all the intel he has completely just collected for St. Clair. The positioning is everything, but knowing that your ult's been popped, they probably have an idea that they've all been spotted out. So now it's decision-making time for Cumberland. Do we commit, or do we rotate off? And I think we've seen what their decision is going to be here, Evan.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. We'll see what St. Clair elects them to do. It might try and bait them in, because site completely wide open here. I mean, you have reinforcements in to potentially swing back in, but Cumberland now, the execute is happening now, but it's going to be Zeka with that jet ult. That's going to be the big problem for St. Clair. Have to prioritize the jet here.
AJ ult.
See if JP's ult can benefit St. Clair. Spike does go down. Snarly still lurking. Semek as well. Been a big problem for
Huge
St.
pick
Clair.
for Seth.
Seth, though, does get St. Clair on the board with 2. It's a massive pick for Saints. JP still on the board, still on site. 3 members of Cumberland, but Atlas.
Tough.
Atlas finds him on the map. It's all down to Seth, but Seth's just going to elect to save. Looked like Saints were going to get some momentum back, but Cumberland just wrestle it right back right away. And Seth can't even save as Cumberland hunts him down. Desperation time for St. Clair. I mean, you hate to say it, but you got to call it like you see it.
Absolutely, you have to call it like you see it. I mean, I'm not necessarily annoyed, disappointed. At the end of the day, I am a caster. Sure, we're here at St. Clair, but at the same time, I just want to see good esports. I want to see good Valorant. And right now, good Valorant is what Cumberland are playing. They get the waste of JP's ult as well. They all back up St. Clair. They don't take the space that they are provided in with and hold it. As Cumberland, very good to play on the retake, as they know they have the spike in a very advantageous position for their swings. Atlas, a couple of shots through the wall will drain him down a little bit. And Instinct getting hyper aggressive here as he tries to work his way through. He is fed up, you can tell. But will his impatience reward him with kills, or will it just slip St. Clair into a further blunder, and he's going to be taken down by Semek. Taiga not even able to land the shots. And Cumberland, this may be the beginning of what could be a dominant Haven map. They've gotten the job done on Ascent, and right now, they are rolling.
No, absolutely. I mean, you give credit where credit is due, but I think a lot of this does come down to mental lapses. I mean,
yes,
Seth able to maybe save something here. JP, though, he's got to be the hero.
Not over yet. They're both at lower health here.
Not over yet. I mean, doesn't have a lot of time to defuse, though.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be able to get this. Does find Atlas in heaven, but Zeka's right there on the crossfire. Just nothing JP can do to salvage that one, and just the mental toll, the psychic damage that Cumberland is inflicting onto St. Clair really starting to take its toll now.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, again, Cumberland doing a really good job of just taking their space, finding their plants, and the post-plant positioning is beautiful from them. Instinct getting shut down a little bit on the entry. We saw he got very aggressive in that round, and I get it. You're trying to force the issue. You're trying to change pace. But at the same time,
There's a point.
there is a point
Right.
where it almost becomes predictable. And he read straight into
start.
Cumberland's books there. As now, Taiga with the first hit on to Cumberland, the 4v5, but Zeka and company, they just got to pull back. A little bit of a crazy bit of positioning there from the Jet, but able to slip herself out as now St. Clair just waiting to see what Cumberland gives them, but patience often pays off. That will be a test that we will see if Cumberland pass.
And maybe that's what St. Clair needs to really tap into now. The aggression clearly is not working for you. And at this point in the game, you can't afford to be that aggressive, because if you miss on that or you just slip up in any way, that just gives Cumberland an easier time in potentially stealing another round. And you've already given them quite a cushion right now. So if you can slow the pace down a little bit, try and just find these picks in these awkward positions to make Cumberland uncomfortable, that might be the best way you can get back in. I mean, Cumberland's got 30 seconds now. B completely open. Enzo giving comms to his team that B is free to take, but the Saints ready for a potential retake as now Atlas gets the plant down. See if St. Clair can respond here. That's a good start, though, as Tilla's Hunter's Fury finds Atlas. That's a big pick for St. Clair. Taiga with another one. All down to Semic. Oh, he didn't even finish the plant, but it doesn't matter as Instinct finishes him off. Huge round for St. Clair. Much, much needed.
Absolutely. And again, as you said before, they just have to stop the bleeding, but gashes have definitely been opened up here. Huge Hunter's Fury there from Tillo. And just not enough time. I mean, it wouldn't have even mattered. After the blind comes through, there's just simply not enough time to get the spike down. So regardless, it was all over. St. Clair, they still only down 3 rounds, have 3 more to try to make it back. This round is going to be absolutely massive for them if they can get it down, but the early aggression on A long does not pay off, and Instinct finds a couple of shots of the Phantom straight to the dome.
Yeah, St. Clair just can't seem to string a couple good rounds together.
It's the entry.
It's the entry.
Yeah.
Cumberland's become wise to Instinct's tricks. Taiga does level it out, though. But still, it seems like Cumberland, they feel confident in these early swings on entry. They're not afraid by Instinct's presence anymore. The God can bleed has to be the mentality there. Atlas trade some shots with JP. None go through. See if Cumberland decides to rotate over to C. Is now Saints out of position, having to rotate back through defender spawn. JP with the Odin again. See if that pays out for him. You know, just spraying and praying through that smoke, just finding anything.
He's in tough position, though.
It is, and I mean, Snarly is just, like you said, the Saints are just giving up these sites for free. I mean, these site defenses have been so lax in this one. It's like, you know, watching zone defense in football versus man coverage, and just,
yeah,
it hasn't been working. I think it's time to maybe make a bit of an adjustment here. As
crazy shot by Semic as well. Gross flick there. But well done to Cumberland. They take that C, they take the C as well from C long, and now you immediately look. 7 rounds, they have at least won this half, as they should on Haven attack. Now every other round from here, it's bonus, right? More struggling, more thrashing round from St. Clair. 2 more rounds left to potentially make a 7-5, and that would give St. Clair a fair and honest fighting chance. But you need to make sure on those promises. Instinct with Yacht missing, or at least maybe hitting through the wall on the first shot, so it won't exactly be able to put down the Omen. Simic making his way through A short. I don't believe they're aware of his position, but Instinct hits a nasty shot. Taiga as well. Could be the beginning of potentially what St. Clair needs, but no, Snarly! Some crazy shots there. to get Cumberland back into the running, but Taiga, a huge pop-off round, has the 3K, uses the Omen ult as well to reposition. JP backs off, and now they're just going to let Atlas stay in a world of his own. JP able to find the headshot, and here we go. Instinct, get the boys hyped. Come on, as St. Clair, they're able to take their 4th, maybe a 5th, and all of a sudden, you have a fighting shot there as the sides will flip after 12.
If St. Clair is able to win this next one here, I mean, last one before the half as well, I mean, I'd be feeling a lot better if I'm on the St. Clair side because, like you said, Haven attack just going so well for Cumberland. And again, it would be another 7-5 half in this series. That would be the 3rd one in a row. And, I mean, that would be the first one that St. Clair has, you know, managed to get 2 in a row. See what happens here before the half. Instinct getting picked out yet again, unfortunately. Just those entry picks, just very hit and miss.
Man, and
Haven.
It's so hard because the guy who is fighting on entry is the ISO, right? Who essentially has like a second life, as I'm hearing. Seems like there might have been ADCs now. Taiga able to find the headshot on 1, but this round almost all but over. The 4v2 and a huge change of events here. Taiga able to find 1, but the shots were not clean enough. Team Ace is Cumberland looking so damn good on their attacking side of Haven, as now switch up of the half. 8-4 your score, but St. Clair can try to get this one back. As I have it confirmed, there was no DC, so we're all good on that, right? So we are going to continue on, and you wouldn't have it any other way, Evan. But St. Clair, they definitely would, and they need to start making a difference. It needs to happen now.
Yeah, like literally has to happen right now. I think if you drop pistol, that might...
Was that 10-4? Like at that point,
yeah,
it's
that
just
might.
so tough.
I think it's chopped after that. Like it has to be. But you know, if you were able to secure that last one before the half, you know, maybe we'd be thinking about this a little bit differently. But it's just Cumberland's been so strong, and I mean, I shudder, Smoke. I shudder to think about what their defense is going to look like, especially with how they've been able to isolate Instinct on these entry picks. If you can neutralize him and, you know, kind of shut down JP and the rest of the squad, there's just not much you can do. I mean, if you can...
They also, I believe, just from that drone alone, they probably have a good idea of where Tilo came from. This is going to be Taiga walking up, and he's not going to be on the winning side of that instinct with 1, but it does not matter. Atlas cuts down 2, and all of a sudden, JP and company, they've got nowhere to go. Enzo revives his double tap, and again, St. Clair, a very tough spot to be in. Lose this round, and you're possibly going to have to give up another conversion. Don't get me wrong, Cumberland were able to thwart St. Clair's conversion earlier. So if history were to repeat itself, that means that St. Clair would win the next round. That being said, I don't think that's going to be how that plays out, as the chances of that happening, I believe, are below 30%. So it is very tough. But St. Clair now, you have to dig deep. Such a mental pit that you could totally find yourself in 9-4 down. Possibly you lose conversion 10-4, and all of a sudden, I mean, man, it is getting very close to curtain call.
Yeah, I'd have to say so. I mean, like we've been saying, if you can potentially get an early pick, if Instinct is able to find something here, anything for the team, just to, you know, steal a rifle, get anything going, but I just can't really see that happening. I'm being completely honest here. We'll see where the Saints elect to execute onto. Taiga able to sneak in, get the plant down at least. Gonna get something going there. Good setup for a post plant, but again, with the rifles that Cumberland has, you know, even just like a stinger, it just, you know, puts them in an advantageous position potentially.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, the closer Instinct gets this garage position, the better that is for Snarly, right? Sitting there with the judge is going to be so easy to clean him up. Instinct, don't do it. It's already too late. He's already chosen his path.
Sight's lost as well.
It absolutely is. The defuse to half, but a huge little bit of toxin there from Seth that should put down the man, but no.
Last player
Picks.
standing.
not falling in St. Clair's order. 3 health, though. Come on, hit the shot right now, Seth. I think he's already done enough. The bomb will go off. The spike does not have enough time to get defused. And St. Clair, they're just barely able to find the conversion win. And what a huge round that is, as they're now down 9-5 instead of what could have been 10-4.
Yeah, it almost spelled disaster. I mean, you were really hoping that Instinct wouldn't fall for that bait in Garage, but somehow the Saints continue to hold.
And didn't even get the save. I didn't even notice that, yes.
There you go. But the Saints continuing to hold on just by a thread here. Some rifles do get to come online now for St. Clair. Now is
Way
the
better
time to
Nico.
really start building up some momentum here, but you got to be careful because you can't aggress too much. You can't let Cumberland try and sneak some more rounds in.
Huge.
Yep, big start for Taiga. He's had a, very quietly, he's had a really solid map 3. He's been keeping the Saints in it. Here, look at this. Oh my goodness. Dirty angle that Atlas has does get deleted by that wall, that Viper wall there, but Atlas, again, he's sort of that guy for Cumberland who's been able to make those plays. Him and Semic, there he is right there.
Man, you would really want St. Clair to take space on C after that first pick, but the Cypher is in such a good position with the Frenzy. That close up could make the round ever so more expensive as you lead a rifle. So, yeah, as I was going to say, someone's going to die there from Semic if he doesn't bite on the Euro clone. He doesn't. He's made good on that. Snarly, not able to get the job done, though. And St. Clair, they should have a round going in their favor. Get the spike down, and they won't even need to do so. Seth takes the head off of the last remaining player, as I believe it was Atlas. They get that spike planted as well. Some bonus credits in the bank for them, and they save 4 out of 5 guns. So huge round there from St. Clair, 9-6, and all of a sudden, now we can start to see on a failed conversion for Cumberland, some things change, some things they stay the same. History repeated itself, and now St. Clair, they've made the nearly impossible possible. As 6-9, they can get this 7th round, and all of a sudden, you have a very close game on your hands. Cumberland on the defense too, might I add, on Haven, the less favorable position to be in.
No, absolutely.
Oh my God! Well, before that
okay,
happened.
all right.
Before that happened.
Well,
before that
just-
happened, that was a disgusting play from Enzo. So well done on the spray transfer out of Garage, and St. Clair, they had no idea about it.
You know, I had such a great point I was going to say before that happened, but now it's just completely gone. I mean, that I think probably was the play, like the play to give Cumberland the potential win here. I mean, what more could you say about that, JP? And I don't want to say an unwinnable situation, but my goodness,
Well,
I mean,
I think you just kind of
you might just have to. I mean, like, you could at least try and like at least get the spike planted. Like if you can get a pick,
it's in a position where you're not going to find that.
Yeah, it's-
JP right now, the number one thing he's going to try to do, if anything, is he's just going to try to see if anyone just peeks him, and exactly that, making Cumberland just lose guns, making the next round potentially just a little more expensive for them.
I got the spike.
He does have spike, but with 30 seconds left to go in a 1v3,
30 seconds left.
it's going to be so tough. I will say, albeit B site is open, but then you're going to have to be fighting. You're going to have a fight on 2 fronts. It doesn't look good in the 1v3, but we have seen crazier things.
I don't think they know where he is, though.
I don't think they do either, but
So-
the second the spike goes down, they will.
10 seconds
But
left.
again, if JP is, is that guy, which
Down.
he has potential to be that guy, he does set up a turret. If he can get this perfect. All right, well, that would have been really cool, though, if he could, but
Unfortunate,
ugh,
but
yeah.
well done on Cumberland.
Getting absolutely wiped at the exact start of the round definitely doesn't help your chances here. I mean,
Yeah,
we're
show
gonna see
me
it. We're
this.
gonna see it again.
Gross.
Yeah, just disgusting. And I mean, yeah, like Tillo is just, what more can you say? I mean, we don't even need to say what he's feeling right now.
Right, I mean, it's just unfortunate. 6-13, he's been on fire for the first 2 maps, and eventually burnout has to hit you. It's tough, but what can you do? You got to praise Cumberland, right? The second St. Clair think they have an in, Cumberland throws out a feisty play on the defense, and Enzo makes an absolute mockery out of St. Clair. The guy was 8-11. He was making big plays early on. He kind of slowed down, but Now he's back on fire where he needs to
My
be.
ult's ready. Here.
Zeka with one, and that's the KJ gone too. All that utility off the board. Taiga able to find one until they're fighting back as Instinct comes through. And now, interesting here is St. Clair poised, if they play it right, to potentially have 10-7.
If I can say anything about St. Clair, their performance in the second half, it's that even though they've had a lot of really negative things happen to them, I mean, like we saw in the last one, like the 4K, they're still in it. Like, they're still fighting. You know, they're not just laying down and, like, submitting to the, you know, the tilting that might be happening on their side. You know, they're still trying to fight tooth and nail to somehow salvage this final map. See what happens here. Tillo does get the spike down. Semic, though, creeping his way up, does find Taiga. He's going to back up Tillo, trying to find where he is. He has an idea of where he may be. They do get the intel, but if Semic can... Never mind. I was going to say if he can cook a little bit, he might get something, but Seth is too smart for that. But it's not enough to just win one like that. I mean, because you've given Cumberland too much already. You need to start stringing some rounds together. I mean, we were saying that even earlier, and it's just Cumberland is like they've been able to respond so well. Whenever they lose one, they immediately come back with a massive response. Like we see on the scoreboard here, the Saints have only won 2 rounds in a row one time on Haven so far. Every other time, Cumberland has been able to come back with a response.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the number one thing you have to credit them for, right? They're not losing rounds in waves. They're not giving St. Clair any momentum. You have to praise it. As now St. Clair looking a lot slower here. A lot more composed. Is Zeka going to be able to take the space with those jet knives, the ult as well. Atlas asks over to cue them in, and there you go. First contact, Seth sees it. The jet hit down where the point where one shot should be able to do her in, but now Taiga coming through. Huge stuff being revealed there from the Yoru ult. And St. Clair, they have their options, but Semic has done even better. Finds the pickup on the Yoru and then immediately gets the ult down for Cypher. They know exactly where JP is. Yes, the Killjoy goes through, but this lockdown should be destroyed and it will not matter. 3v4, and all of a sudden, Taiga with a huge pick. The Viper's pick goes down, and St. Clair, for them, this is winnable, but Semic gonna have something to say about it. Tillo gets chucked into an ISO ult as he had the Hunter's Fury, and even if he gets this kill, which he can't even do, they would have known his position regardless. Seth needs the clutch of a lifetime. The spray comes through the wall, and all of a sudden, St. Clair, they are in their own heads. Look at them, long faces. Tillo, that is so rough. Hunter's Fury, and he just gets sucked into the domain expansion. It's unfortunate, but it is how this one played out. Cumberland, gotta give them credit. Really good recognition there from Enzo, realizing where that Hunter's Fury comes in. Get that ult down quickly so that man cannot rein in 2 more shots. Beautifully done there from Cumberland as they take 11-7.
Yeah, I quite frankly, I think St. Clair's just run out of gas. I think, you know, it's been a very long, grueling series. I mean, neither of these maps have been a stomp by any stretch. It's been a long night for the team, and I think Cumberland just had, you know, the extra bit of juice coming into tonight. You know, you were hoping that, you know, with the emotional stakes, you know, for the guys like JP, you know, hopefully that would be enough to fuel the squad for a potential win, but
they've proven themselves.
They have, and I think emotional investment like that only gets you so far, right? And like I said, right now, I just think that everybody's just too tilted to make an impact right now. I mean, stranger things have happened. We've seen big comebacks before, but I think right now, yeah,
that's a collapse.
Yeah, I think at that point, I mean,
that's so tough.
It has to be so tough to get collided like that.
Gross shot from Zeka though. It's just so unfortunate as JP. Not really a whole lot that they can do in the long run, but they might be able to muster up something to take the space on A. The plant is going down, mind you, but the shock dart's going to get JP to have to move off. Sonar comes through, a quick scope there from Zeka, and it is not going to matter. Snarly cleans it all up. And for St. Clair, it is quite literally do or die. Cumberland taking the match point, and now it is all but over, in my opinion, if you ask me. I mean, again, last chance to cast across Cumberland, woo-wee. It's probably not going to happen, right? I mean, they've done just such a good job of not letting St. Clair get out and ahead, getting rounds in bundles. You've called it out before. St. Clair, they've only won 2 rounds in a row once this entire game. And you really have to give it to Cumberland. Their ability to adapt on Haven is what's been able to win them this game. Seeing what St. Clair can give them, and then immediately pulling it back and finding a response. A Snarly and Zeka going to find the cleanup. JP elects to swing back out, but this one, all but over. The flick from Snarly. Gross. As he finds the triple, and Cumberland able to make the comeback. I said it before, Evan. I'll say it again. We called the fact that it was going to go to 3. We didn't get the winner right, but I said it earlier. Cumberland, they lost the first map against Winthrop. They come back, win Ascent, and then they're able to always make a third map a barn burner. It seems like it's just the way the script plays out for them, minus this time, they're the ones who come out on top. Congratulations to Cumberland. They take the series in 2-1 fashion.
Yeah, no, it was a great series from both teams. I think Cumberland, obviously the better team today. And
absolutely.
Absolutely. And again, we were saying this in the pre-show, despite the roster overhaul that they've had, they still have a very solid squad on their side. I mean, the Super Conference is just so stacked as is, and we're seeing that the competition is just that much stiffer for St. Clair. And, if you're the Saints, you got a lot to look back on in this one in the VOD review. I think there's going to be a lot to talk about, moving forward here. But, again, it's just Cumberland they just had their number, quite frankly. They just figured out the strategy, and they just were able to be the mentally superior team in all aspects.
Right, but I mean, for Cumberland, happy days. For St. Clair, back to the drawing board. That being said, these stats are going to show some crazy numbers for some of these Cumberland players that have just been online for the past 2 hours. As now, they look ahead to week 3. 1-1, so no longer only losses for Cumberland on their NACE places. Now, St. Clair, they fall to 1-1 as well. So both parties drawn aback, and now St. Clair, like we said, back to the drawing board. And honestly, I think, we just saw burnout from St. Clair, right? That third map, we kind of saw they're getting a little bit tilted, right? The shots just aren't landing like they were in the first 2. It's unfortunate, but it is the way the cookie crumbles. All credit to Cumberland, played a damn good game.
Yeah, I mean, it just happens sometimes. I mean, with how strong St. Clair looked at the start, like I said, they just ran out of gas, quite frankly. And I mean, that's not a bad thing, right? You still have. It's not like St. Clair's a bad team or anything. They just
just got to credit Cumberland. They had the better stamina on the day. That's just how it is.
They just outlast them in this war of attrition. And if you're St. Clair, you just need to work on finishing and following through the rest of the series. You can't just invest all of your emotion and all of your time into map 1 when you have potentially 2 more to play. So, a lot to look back on in this one, but still I think a very well-played series from St. Clair, all things considered. We did see a lot of really solid plays coming out from everybody. I think everybody on the team had their moment to shine at least once throughout the series, and if they can just keep working and just keep grinding from here, I think they should hopefully have no problems getting at least a deep playoff run going. But we've seen a little preview of the competition, what they're going to be like down near the end of the season.
It's not going to get any easier down the stretch.
Absolutely not. There are so many heavy hitters that are yet to come in the season. The next couple weeks, might be quote unquote easier. But again, like we said, the Super Conference is just so stacked this year. And, St. Clair, it looks like, teams are going to look at this and they're going to say, oh, St. Clair, they're mortal. They can bleed this year, despite the talent. So that's going to put a target on their back.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to put a target on their back. I mean, again, Cumberland, they outlast the Saints this time. And I want to start talking just quickly on MVPs, right? I know we have stats up right here, looking across the board. I was going to say, Snarly, to me, my MVP of that game on the Omen, had easily not necessarily kills in bundles, but the most crushing kills, in my opinion. The ones that actually meant the most, right? Flipping the tides, whether it was equalizing on man advantages that St. Clair had, whether it was giving Cumberland man advantages, right? He seemed to always be on the kill board when St. Clair needed it the least. Enzo did a great job there, popped off with a huge 4K as well. Semic had his moments in this game as well on the Cypher and also on Ascent too. Atlas going a little bit quieter than he was last game, but played such a huge role, probably is my MVP of the night based on the fact that he was the one who dug Cumberland out of the hole that they were in, got them all fired up to immediately take a full team effort, proving why he is one of the best in the collegiate space for his roles. Now, Snarly, looking at that, MVP for map 3, ACS of 268, 19 and 11, and he is definitely like that.
I was going to say, he absolutely is that guy for Cumberland. You know, you got to give credit. That could have been anybody from Cumberland on that final MVP screen,
Yeah.
but Snarly, you know, you got to give it to him for the most kills in that one. I mean, just making the most impact on all fronts, you know, the intel, the picks, you know, just doing it all for the team. So got to give credit where credit is due to Cumberland. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for the stream tonight. You know, not the result that you may have wanted, unfortunately, but I hope you at least enjoyed a very fun series of Valorant. I mean, that really was
great.
Quite an exciting series, but that's going to do it for us. I know the guys in the back want to make sure that we wrap this one up quick, so let's just rattle off these sponsors real quick here. We got Tim Hortons, Subway, Alienware, St. Clair SRC, and the St. Clair Alumni Association.
As well as Onezo.
Man, he stole that from me, man. But thank you. You got to get that one in there. And we worked on it yesterday. Let's say it now.
Thank you, sponsors.
That was awesome. All right. For Patrick Smoke Chambers, I've been Evan Johnson. And for all of the Prod team, thank you very much for watching and have a great night.
You feel me? Yeah. You feel me? Nah, that's real. Keep it on West Coast, because I feel like we cats don't show us the love out here. Dago, putting on for the town. Tell me about it.
Coming back and spend the night, come get me like a nigga.